He is also a chairman of Vikram India Limited, largest manufacturer and exporter of tea processing machineries. The group are also diversified into business like synthetic textile processing, dyes, chemicals, cotton yarn, and even power and infrastructure. So he is heading those sectors also, and giving the experience, will be sharing his experience to these industries. So he is current, and the biggest contribution ultimately when it goes to the whatever you nurse, whatever you do, it should transfer to the society. And society means those who are coming, the presently available, or the coming and taking the baton of the country, the education. And I think that the name of the institution and is a known educationist in this, and having a lot of educational institutes, Heritage Institute is the chairman to the other groups, colleges. If I narrate it, will become very. And I congratulate S.K. Chaudhary sir by getting the award, your institute, that school, that prestigious award for that. So I request Mr. Harikrishnan Chaudhary to please share your views on this vocal for local, a necessity for the country's growth. Your specific share, because I mean that you please focus on how to the challenges when you getting the approvals from various sectors in the government, how you feel some your suggestions to how to get the approvals, how to get it more movement from the government.
Duram frame. Duram
Chaudhary sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Saxena and dear fellow panelists. I think vocal for local extends a formal campaign, Make in India, launched in 2014 to boost manufacturing and production in India.
Yes.
The pillars of Make in India lie in innovation, skill development, investments, intellectual property, and infrastructure. Spanning 25 sectors of the economy, Make in India is outcome oriented and systematic in structure, clearly defining the investment opportunities in India. A well-rounded policy, it educates and informs potential investors about the new developmental projects, schemes, policies directed at the ease of doing business and new initiatives in India. Amplify the attractiveness of potential investment. Make in India succeed in transforming India's investment and manufacturing landscape. Vocal for local carry the same sentiment in establishing a brand reputation for Indian goods, banking on the collective optimism that the campaign has generated. However, the call for local came in the wake of a severe economic crisis that India was facing in the wake of the pandemic. While announcing a massive ₹20 lakh crore economic package, the Prime Minister called for a self-reliant India, Atmanirbhar India, which emphasizes the need to recognize the importance of local manufacturing, local markets, and local supply chains. One might equate the sentiment behind vocal for local with the Swadeshi movement during India's freedom struggle. The Swadeshi movement called for use of locally made products, which would, in its natural course, lead to the growth of national industries. I believe that this movement for vocal for local, started in late 19th century, if we recall about the evolution of chemical industry. Acharya Prafulla Chandra Ray, as a young scientist, takes upon himself the task of pioneering India's chemical and drug industry. It actually started its operations in the laboratory of the Science College, Calcutta, and subsequently in the Bengal Chemical Works. In the year 1892, the initial founding investor joined Acharya P.C. Ray in formation of Bengal Chemical in the spirit of Swadeshi from all over India, and Bengal Chemical was incorporated as the first pharmaceutical company in 1901. The elite and the masses supported the company by buying its products. Today, India is the 6th largest producer of chemicals globally and the 3rd largest producer in Asia in terms of output. The chemical sector is expected to double to $300 billion by 2025, clocking an annual growth rate of 15 to 20%. To achieve this, the government is working on a draft chemical policy that will focus on increase in manufacturing locally and reducing costs. Similarly, the clarion call of vocal for local entails encouragement to homegrown enterprises, not only in the large-scale segment, but more importantly in the spectrum of medium and small scale for increasing production, developing greater market and creating wider export avenues for India-made products and services. Already, many Indian enterprises, including the MSMEs in the health sector, particularly those making drugs, ventilators, personal protection equipment, have proved to be considerably successful. One has to be clear that by being local, one does not need to reject globalization. Promotion and consumption of local manufacturing and production as a nation would contribute to the idea of sustainable development in a big way. A self-sufficient India, that Atmanirbhar Bharat, would be able to compete with the global giants, which will in turn put the national economy back on track. Equally important is the fact that it would create a large number of jobs, which is the need of the hour at this crisis period, when millions have lost employment due to closure of industries and commercial establishments. Let us all go for local to promote the national startup ecosystem, which will help our country to reach its target of becoming a $5 trillion economy by 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Harikishan-ji. You have okay. Thank you, Chaudhary sir. Your induction and accepting our request to be a panel member is a very great help to this movement for local. I was expecting some specific challenges when you faced to enter in this solar business or the solar projects. Some suggestion you did that it will move faster or some better, but okay, you can in a second phase or during my question answer you can have it. Okay, so thank you, Chaudhary sir. I will that you will wait for another inputs from other panel members, and we will at the end we will take take up some question answers also. So second, very nice. I ask the another project name. It's a really, you will surprised to know that we have personalities among us who get the challenges and convert it into the opportunities. I feel myself proud to introduce Mr. V.K. Sonisa. He is presently Director Technical in Gujarat Fluorochemicals Limited, stationed at Delhi. Little introduction. I think that it's a very big introduction sheet. If I read the complete introduction, it takes 5 minutes or more. So I'm proud to introduce Mr. V.K. Sonisa. He is presently Director Technical in Gujarat Fluorochemicals Limited, stationed at Delhi. Little introduction. I think that it's a very big introduction sheet. If I read complete introduction, it takes 5 minutes or more. It's proud.
Sorry, I think there is a...
Yes, good morning to everybody. I am V.K. Soni.
Little introduction. I think that it's a very big introduction sheet. If I read complete introduction, it takes 5 minutes or more. It's proud.
No, I'll briefly introduce. I'll briefly introduce that. I'm V.K. Soni. I'm a good morning to everybody. I'm V.K. Soni. I'm a chemical engineer by profession from IIT Delhi. And now working as head of projects and key initiatives.
Yes, sir. Excuse me, sorry, sir. You please, I think there is an open of YouTube link also in your computer. You please close the YouTube link because sound is coming revert back to us.
Crosstalk is coming.
You please close the YouTube link which is open in your browser. Or you please mute to mute.
There is an open of YouTube link also in your computer. Please close the YouTube link.
Actually, what I understand, the problem is your system. If I mute it, the sound is not coming. So you please, otherwise you can close it the browser and again log in only the Zoom, not YouTube. YouTube for the other viewers.
Okay. I think that Sunil make the correction in his computer, and we will get him again after the sharing of views another panel member. So now I invite Dr. Rajkumar. He is another man who is from the who can you stretch to any without boundaries. He is a rubber man in the country, not in the country, globally known as a rubber man. Very good promoter of technology and supporter to the young generation. That's why I came across with him. So a little introduction of Dr. Rajkumar, the director of IRMARA. It is a research laboratory, Indian Rubber Manufacturers Research Association. It's a government of India led. He has done MTech in rubber technology from IIT Kharagpur and PhD polymer chemistry. He is around 22 years of experience in research and development in the field of rubber and allied technologies. He actively involved in indigenization of rubber products for various applications and truly contributing to make in India Bharat. And he faced lot of challenges for testing and all. He is sending the components to the European country and get them certified and all that. He developed his own lab and really a marvelous contribution and a pillar in vocal for local subject. So my question to Dr. Rajkumar, what role of a research lab, all the research labs can play on the new initiative of government like vocal for local, how this can help the research labs to develop the technology, the research, the testing or the technologies in India.
Thank you, Sir, for the nice introduction. And at the outset, I would like to thank the organizer of ChemCon 2020 for giving me an opportunity to share my views during this panel discussion, which he covered, which he started with. For anything local industry, you need to start with innovations. I stick to that word, innovation. If you want to do good innovation, we need a very good infrastructure-based research and development laboratories. In India, we have several research laboratories. Each sector, name it rubber, or plastic, CPET, for every, for cement and CCPM, like that, every sector, paper, CPPRI, like that. So there are several research laboratories are there in the country, including the basic research laboratories with the IITs, NITs, and CSIR laboratories. They have X facilities, which was created by spending lots of money by the government grants, and they have been working on various basic as well as applied research. When we come to the point of go vocal for local, it is very important that the local industry should utilize the facility. Every sector has a problem on raw materials, industrial manufacturing level, and of course, similarly, there are user industries also have the challenges. But the R&D laboratories can convert all these challenges into opportunities and converting the opportunities into the business process, by which easily we can take this local branding into the global, that is global level basically. So IRMIA laboratories, similar to IR laboratories, research laboratories, have an excellent role to play, bringing into the Atmanirbhar, Make in India, and of course the go vocal for local, which is more realistic. So, in fact, it is highly essential to review setup of research laboratories and their infrastructure continuously to upgrade to the level of global. Otherwise, there are lots of facilities and testing needs are coming up. I know there are cases waiting for testing in Europe because there are lack of facilities or there are lack of standards in India. So, India is now facing all such challenges. Laboratories like IRMIA is playing a very key role in standardization activities, in introducing the new standards and indigenization activities, and hence that we are trying to upgrade the level of research laboratories to the in global level, the need of meet the need of these industry requirements to bridge the gap between the raw materials industry and user and the industry requirement. So, R&D laboratories needs to be well utilized for promoting this go vocal for local, which involves conversion of innovative ideas to the marketable products. Even if you have a product which is coming from abroad as an import, you need to do reverse engineering or kind of benchmarking studies for which R&D research infrastructure is essential. Because for every small scale or medium scale or tiny industry, you cannot have such a excellent facilities. It takes up money and efforts and also the costly manpower. So every local industry needs and utilize them so that they can definitely be benefited and promote their needs to convert their innovation into the product and calculated. So these are some of my views actually, and if there is any specific questions, I would come back and then do that. So IRMRA is promoting all such requirements for standardization of rubber products as well as indigenization. We are able to meet the requirements for the country's need. Obviously, it is local or vocal, which is local for local, would definitely be a part of growth for necessity for this growth of country. And I'm sure that, like basically, every sector needs to identify similar research laboratories and make use of them for their own growth and bringing into the path of globalizations and simplicity. So with these few words, I would like to thank Mr. Saxena and the group for giving me an opportunity to share my views. And if there are any specific questions, I will come back. Thank you.
Okay, so nice, Dr. Rajkumar. Very well. That one is, what is the capacity present we are provided to the users, it should be usefully. And the second most, what upgradation you need in the present system, I want a specific 1 or 2 line answer in that when we come for a question answer session. How we can develop the faith in the system, the user system, not I say that the upper system, that whatever they are testing, getting the certificate, then there is no further need to go for further certificate. Okay, so nice. I think that we will return back to Vijay Kumar Soni sir. His things must have
everybody on the panel members.
So just Soni sir, just a moment. I have within the introduction. So he is a chemical engineer from IIT Delhi and a management course from Harvard, US. And in the country, he is known as a project man. Completed the project, minimum 1,000 crore projects he has handled so far, and handling and capable and giving the results. So he is a man of giving the results. So during this journey, what you felt that if we resolve this particular type of hurdles, certainly it will be a boost to a movement of local for local, and your specialization is in a fluorine, a very specialized chemical. So if you can relate with that, how a very typical chemical which is not largely manufactured by others can help if we remove those hurdles and over to this. And I think that you worked with a project handled Indo-Gulf project, which is more than 3,500 crore, even this. Okay, so lot of other things there. His biodata is available on link or Facebook. You can read this. So I hand over this to Soni sir.
Yes, thank you, Saxena sir, and welcome all the panel members. Now today's topic, the vocal for local or local for global. But vocal for local, first of all, I would suggest that the industry has to be efficient and has to be effective and must meet the best quality standards for the local production to prosper. And the industry must have commitment for continuous improvement, and this is possible by integrated sustainable management systems. The care for environment is most vital, and customer satisfaction is equally vital. In this, as Saxena sir mentioned, I would specify and limit myself to fluorine, which is the most electronegative element in the universe, and carbon-fluorine bond is one of the strongest bonds. and is a component of all organic fluorine compounds. And fluoropolymers is currently multiple fluorons, which it is bounded still another simple method. This water it does from low thermal solution and so on and so on. Very essential for automotive, aerospace, semiconductors, electricals, electronics, pharmaceuticals, chemicals, wind, solar energy, medical, etc. And the newer emerging applications are in e-mobility, the electric hybrid cars, the clean environment, the high quality water, 5G data transmission, Internet of Things, and so on. Here, as an example of vocal for local, has a vision of making India self-reliant, Atmanirbhar in all India's needs of the essential fluoropolymers. JFL has an integrated management system and an integrated state-of-the-art technology-intensive plant starting from fluorspar, from where the fluorine comes from Mother Earth, up to the value-added fluoropolymers, which are very many and attend to each and every aspect of the society, and these are most essential for the society. So basically, to round up in this introduction, I would say that anybody can have vocal for local and prosper so long as the industry it has is cost efficient, is effective, it meets the best quality standards, and we have a commitment for continuous improvement. And for this, we must have an integrated, sustainable management with focus on care for environment, very important, and customer satisfaction, equally important. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunny sir. I think that you have completely. Okay.
Hello?
Yes, Sunny sir. Thanks for your views. And you focused that to be effective, any of the industry, the acceptance in a local market. I'm using some larger, smaller words like a market or. So one should be very much efficient, quality, and matching to the standards of all the norms which are available globally. So that is one. And efficient covers a very bigger area. For the viewers, I say that many times the delivery of your product, manufactured product, by the industry has a meaning. One should be very particular about the delivery time of whatever you are manufacturing. So if you shorten it, financially it is more viable, it gives a confidence and acceptance in the market. It's so nice, sorry sir. We feel that you will be there in the panel discussion for another 30 minutes. So any question from the audience, we will pass on. Thank you, sir. So now I request another joint and change the norms. We are solar, the projects, now the specialized chemicals like fluorine and all that is used on it. Now we enter to the pharma industry, which is having a very positive impact in a market. In a country's demand, it is fulfilled by the pharma industry, and they have taken it to a new height. And one of that, Mr. Vijay Agrawal, he is a very good pillar, and he started from the final product, now going backward to a backward integration, and now manufacturing the various ingredients and bulk goods. So Vijay Agrawal, he is a presently Director Business Development at McLeod Pharmaceuticals. He is responsible for international, Indian and international business and the strategic planning and increasing the manufacturing capacity in the country. So, how to manufacture the pharma? There are various standards are available, approvals are required. What you feel? Any change in this approvals from various FDA, non-US FDA, anything is making restriction in development of local industries. If you cover this point in your talk, I will be very happy. So I welcome Mr. Vijay Agrawal.
Thank you, Mr. Saxena. I'm not turning on my video because I'm doing a mask in the to answer the question, Mr. Saxena, restriction in development of Indian industry due to approvals or approval process from regulators outside India. It might be there, but the restriction is in the form of long gestation leave. But I believe we all long gestation period because setting up a factory takes a long time. In my opinion, to plan properly, you can get approvals from regulators outside India in 2 to 3 years after starting your company. So, the regulatory process is not immediately growing in India, and we all are witnessing the pharmaceutical sector growing in India in the last 20 years since export started, or last 25 years since export started. Also, to address the current topic of vocal for local, I think biotesting is one of the few industries which has, at least on the finished combination side, finished product side, the tablets and capsules that we are listening to, biotesting has been local for very long. Yes, we do import the basic chemicals or starting materials from China. And I believe government's current scheme, the currently realized scheme that government is given, if that comes to fruition, then that dependence on imported materials will also. That's all from my side. I can be part of the panel once you start that. But I also wanted to answer 2 things that Mr. Sohini mentioned about water effectiveness, that if we have to be local, we have to be cost effective. I totally agree with him. However, we also have to, and since these messages are going to the government, I believe we also need to warn the government of the uncontrolled price increases that we have seen, like what we are witnessing right now in fees. Cost has increased almost 20% in the last 3 months. Similarly, another current member had mentioned about the need for testing abroad. I think someone from our industry. So I was trying to stop testing for pharmaceutical products in countries abroad, and that will not happen. I don't know about other industry, but countries outside India have made it as their business to control quality of products by testing it locally. So that has to continue. So I've given up this testing abroad procedure, and I've just accepted that it will happen. Thank you, Mr. Saxena.
Okay. Thank you, Vijay Agrawal. Thank you, Vijay Agrawal. I have seen McLeod changing its dimension from small business to such a high rising. Okay. So nice, I request you to be there if some specific questions coming. So now I am requesting another panel member. I first should not apologize Paresh Trivedi ji. I made him much younger, and how I got his photograph this, I don't know, but I'm very happy that you and Anuya both are so young in this panel discussion. So I say that the average age of my panel discussion members should be in control. But okay, so nice. Pareshji, excuse me for this posting. You will be seen by the panelist on video. Dr. So just Dr. Paresh Trivedi is a chemical engineer, 38 years of experience. He worked with Reliance, BP Chemicals and fertilizer sectors, petrochemicals, even he worked with Deepak Nitrate and all. And very qualified energy auditor. He is interested in nanotechnology, EV batteries, biotechnology, biopolymers, medical devices, and other electronic devices. I know him, and he's a very good supporter of Indian Institute of Chemical Engineers. Around 2 years back, when we have organized one poster competition at FICCI in Bombay, he came there as a judge to judge the poster presentation. His specialization is the present, the assignment was with ChemBond, a polymer. So what you feel, Pareshji, the polymers is a very widely produced in the country. And if you see that, I think that imports are very limited. Very specific polymers are there. So what you feel that some regulations, regulatory things are there which are restricting, number one, and how this market prefers the Indian product compared to the imported product. Any change in the mindset? How can we change the mindset of our purchaser, which will whether this campaign of vocal for local can help to develop the indigenous industry? Mr. Pareshji.
Very much. Super Prabhat for everyone, and thank you for very nice introduction, Sakshanarji. I will answer some of the query or questions you have raised actually, and I should say that to my fellow panel members, Soni Saab and Mr. Agrawal, whoever has taken a point. I just would like to hit on the especially for first I will cover the special polymer which we are manufacturing and what is the India need actually. As we have gone through in last couple of years, started with the Made in India movement and then Startup India, and then it has transformed into the Atmanirbhar Bharat and then Local for Local and many more there, which is boosting the the innovation and the things which country needs actually. I would like to say that not only the export substitutes is a major thing for a country, and then go for a global actually, or go do that thing actually parallel to become Atmanirbhar as well as we can go from local to global actually. One of the things which we are manufacturing in Canport actually, just to tell you that we are making bio-nylon actually, bio-nylon from castor oil. This is a nylon 610, just to tell you, which is a very unique nylon actually. And you will be surprised, most of Indians doesn't know that nylon 610 is used as a toothbrush crystal actually. So every 135 crore Indians get up in the morning and use the brush actually. They use either the European DuPont or the Chinese polymer actually, except the brush handle, so polypropylene or various other polymer. So we have made this polymer that is nylon 610 from castor oil base actually this polymer, and to be happy to share that this polymer is already acceptable in the market and other things. But to go back to the whole of the country needs for such kind of polymers, which is used in automobiles, space, and various other things. Actually, even you can think of them nylon nylon high end. This can and the price everyone probably I tell you that 75% of the world castor oil is being produced by India. And last 70 years we are exporting this castor oil to Europe and America, now to China. And they convert this castor oil is not edible oil actually, it's a medicinal value a little bit, but not edible oil. Out of 75%, 90% of that 75% is produced in Gujarat. And they export to all this country, and then they make the undestillitic acid, salicylic acid, various other fragrance and flavors compounds from this actually, and they put it back to India actually. So just you can think that 500,000 tons of castor oil goes back from India and then converted to the various polymer products as well as fragrance products and come back. Now this is where we came into it, and we put a plant and make it converted into the commercial facilities. So I am just trying to tell you what is a country need, because we have gone through this journey and we know that how the challenge is. One of the things which always remains that because in India, the acceptance of Indian product, you have to qualify it with Chinese or you have to qualify it with the import substitutes actually, which is there from years. That is not a good quality, cannot be compromised, quality can be given as per the requirement. But the challenge is that once you go and give somebody the sample, it takes a lot of efforts to convince them that we are Indian manufacturers, that we are doing it. They don't believe it. Including the largest, the people who claim that they are made in India product actually. They still actually use somebody else actually, and we try to export to US. So now we are started exporting to US this product, and there it is accepted. So when the government comes in place actually is that they have to identify. It is not only for my company or I am not talking about talking about general as India, that we should identify what are the import substitutes items and play around 80 things actually. The 24% where the volume and the money is there. The rest of the items like the niche items we can identify it with the institutes like we have 38 CSRI laboratories. So fantastic thing like HCL today. And we can work with these people to identify products, not too many. 1 or 2 or 3 products and convert them into the commercialization things actually. And then we demo that as one of the things like a startup to convert it to it. There are certain things like applications, like Solisa has told about a lot of fluoropolymers. Now, many of the fluoropolymer applications are being imported. The finished articles are being imported because there is no other people are developing the finished product. So this laboratories, government laboratories can help because to establish a R&D facility by a SME or MSME sector is very challenging because it's a cost center for them actually. So this central laboratories should able to help them to do that actually, and then we can convert because we have talent in India, we have resources in India, we have ample amount of entrepreneurs in India. So I think only the things to link these 3 or 4 people together to create the things in a time-bound manner. One of the things is time-bound manner because we lose the time into it. Probably can converting it to the commercialization. So this is my one of the comment actually, and the another thing which I can able to tell you that. Where the government or where the association or the CANPON one place in Gujarat or Maharashtra or somewhere in various places, we have to have modular things like a plug-in system. I think we have to learn from China that how China has grown in the last 20 years. Actually, they created the industrial park, which is a plug-in facility, common utilities, common things, where 90% of the time in the manufacturing unit head is spent in the non-core sector like a utility or a boiler or power generation or water treatment or cooling tower, something like that. But if you go to Korea, if you go to Japan, if you go to even the China, these all common facilities are given by the utility companies. And the core sector like a reaction and packaging only is done by manufacturers. So such kind of things which has to come up actually, that sort of facilities has to come up. The second most important thing is raw materials. Somebody also has told the raw materials, easiness of raw materials availability. Government should support the industries to have the raw material available. And the institutes like all the CSR level can help us to find out the alternative feedstocks actually, which has to be either created from the mining source or from the petrochemical source or from the bio source. And the most important thing is that patent awareness and patent filing supports. Many of our innovators are very into this actually and taking into this actually. You see the number of patent filed by China as a country is, I think, highest among the world actually. So how do we do that actually? Because we have a very genius innovation, so a lot of things are happening, but we are not able to file the patents actually. That's why the institutes where the lot of IP related works are there, government institutes, they should support to encourage to file these patents actually. This is one of the things, the quality, upgrading of quality, which pharma has already done it because they are normally exporting very high volume. So, but the rest of the sectors needs the quality support. So, quality support, the ISO standard is already there. But to enhance the quality support, there is the analytical abilities where these laboratories can able to support that in a large way. I think I can go on listing some of them, but to end my listing comments on this, we have a success story to probably I will ask Anaya to say the success story for how to work together to get the results. Actually, so I will leave it to Anaya to tell about it. But my point is that after this panel discussion is over, successfully, my request will be to take it up as a one task. Government, we make one model out of this panel discussion and we suggest and we hand on one particular small startup to make sure that we walk the talk actually rather than just having a panel discussion. That should not be ending of this 1.5 hours spent by our. We should convert into the one model which we should do it. I leave it to you for that and thank you very much for inviting me and I wish you to consider a very good success. Thank you very much.
Okay, Paresh, thanks a lot. After you take some time for us, I start from your bottom that some takeaway and some fruitful results should come out with this panel discussion. So I requested in the beginning that from all the panel members I want a small abstract, and out of that abstract we will be certainly publishing for the general members to know what is the views on this, number one. And again I mentioned the same thing, what you say that we frame out one specific 1-2 cases and submit to the government to look into and come forward to resolve this issue raised by our panel members. So thank you, Paresh. Okay, you talked about the manufacturing and all that, but impact whenever chemical word is coming, everybody is just become vibrant, then what will be the impact on the environment? and it is to be how to solve this problem, what industry is facing in this, number one, their responsibilities, how this, and we can look this environmental effect to the life cycle thinking. So it's not that only the chemical, the process which we adopted by the industry, generating how much quantity of effluent and how can we handle. So the life cycle thinking should be come into the adopted and minimal total, that like if you have a process where a lot of energy is required, so you are transferring one effluent to power generation. Like many people say that battery operated cars are very good, no pollution. No, it is not like this, because you have shifted the environmental from one sector to another. For a battery operated car, a lot of chemical is required that will be discarded. For charging the battery, you have to produce the electricity. Electricity means power generation. Power generation, if it is by conventional method and all, it will again generate an environmental imbalance. So one has to think on those lines and then come with this thinking. So nice, Srivediji, and be there if you can spare some more time, be there. So in the sum up, anybody wants to ask you some specific question, then it will be over. So we can handle and answer him. So it's nice that we covered 5 panel members' views. Now I want to give it to some younger generation, so that they can bring the energy to my panel discussion. My young co-partner in this, Dr. Sanjay Bharadwaj. Although we are not old, not feeling ourselves as old or this. But the new idea, and you take over, and Anuya and Mr. Delay just coordinate their views and proceed. Okay. I hand over to Sanjay.
Thank you very much, Praveenji. And just to tell you, this is the mind, old and young. Please keep in mind that we are young. So with this I start. Good morning, everyone. H. Chaudharyji, Dr. Pareshji, V.K. Sodhiji, Dr. Rajkumarji, Vijay Agarwalji, Dr. Anuya, Dr. Dilek, Praveenji, Dr. Abhijit, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege and proud that I am sharing perspective, maybe my own also, plus we have very eminent panel activity got enriched by various perspectives from different veterans from different sectors like solar, pharma, R&D, polymers, and then we have idea from different angles like supply chain, how supply chain is important, how quality is important, and how the linkage of academia, R&D industry is very, very important for feeding to this our theme of today's panel discussion, Google for Local. And we are fortunate to have a diverse background today from industry, we have from R&D also, and we have now Dr. Anuya, who is a very rare combination of scientists come entrepreneur. So then I would share a brief profile with all of you. Dr. Anuya is a principal scientist in the Polymer Science and Engineering Department at CSIR NCF Pune. She has done PhD in Chemical Engineering from IIT Bombay and Masters in Material Science and Engineering from University of Delaware, US. She has a research focus in polymer materials, biomaterials, cell culture, and tissue engineering. She has 20 international peer-reviewed journal publications and 6 international patent filings. She is co-founder of Serigen Medi Products Private Limited, which is a state-based biomedical products startup. She has won significant awards like Leadership Innovation Fellowship from Royal Academy of Engineering UK, a Thai Biennial Award for Women in Entrepreneurial Research, and INAE Young Entrepreneur Award. I would request Dr. Anuya to mainly focus on maybe something else also. It will be planning to listen different actually as a scientist started there? How science started to get feed to this our theme of local to global? Now over to Dr. Adia, please.
Thank you, Dr. Sanjay. It's an honor and a pleasure to be part of this esteemed panel on Vocal for Local. I thank the organizers and the chairman, Dr. Shri Praveen Saxena-ji and Dr. Netha Live for giving me this opportunity to speak here. So I was actually congratulate you because you've brought together a panel from such diverse areas which support the chemical industry. So I'll talk a little bit more about medical devices and polymers and medical devices because that is my area of focus. Our Honorable Prime Minister since 2016 has come up with various national missions such as Startup India, Make in India and more recently Atmanirbhar Bharat. And all these missions are actually aligned towards today's panel discussion of Vocal for Local as pointed out by other panelists as well. Now, medical devices is a field where we are heavily dependent on imports. Unfortunately, we import about 70 to 90% of medical devices that are required for the healthcare sector in India. And therefore, there is a huge opportunity for India to come up and a lot of testing facilities with some of the state-of-the-art equipments which are probably not accessible to these small local manufacturers in India, and it is not possible for them to set up some of these facilities. There are also scientists who are really capable of developing some of these technologies. Now, if you look at devices, so India also imports devices like thermometers, bandages, pregnancy kits, and so on, which are really trivial for the technology there has been in the market for so long that Indian manufacturers should be able to develop these quite easily. So for this, I feel that we have to come up with business models which allow the scientists in the lab to actually identify the challenges that are present for a local manufacturer. So basically, there has to be a connect between the scientist and the local manufacturer. And the scientists can assist in the development of these products that will help in simplifying the regulatory environment, especially for medical devices. There are huge regulations that are in place, and if the local manufacturer wants to get into the space, there are challenges that he faces. So I think the scientists can actually liaise between the different government organizations which give the approvals for manufacturing and sales of these devices and help in simplifying and accelerating the product development cycle. As Dr. Pareshji rightly mentioned before, we have a success story here to share. We began working on, when the COVID pandemic struck in March, there was a huge shortage of nasal swabs, which are actually used to collect the sample from the nasal cavity of the patient. And here we collaborated with Chembond Polymers and NCL did a technology transfer in about 45 days, and Chembond started selling these products in July, August in the market. So within a short span of 3 to 4 months, India was heavily dependent on nasal swabs which were being imported, and in the span of 3 months we were able to produce that. And I don't see any reason why we cannot take up this kind of a process and extrapolate it to several other medical devices that we are currently importing. CSR did a phenomenal job during this time because in less than 6 months we came up with close to 100 technologies, right from vaccine development to drug repurposing to diagnostics and so on and so forth. So I think there's definitely an opportunity there. We have to come up with models to connect some of the local manufacturers to the scientific lab. The second thing that has also been stressed by a lot of panelists here is on innovation. Innovation is definitely the key to making your products locally, typically what happens is when a scientist develops a technology and he has a patent around it, it is generally at a very early stage for an industry to take it up immediately. So there is a cycle time between a technology development, identifying and de-risking that technology and taking it to the market. So this gestation period is something that needs to be supported currently. So the way to do that we have figured out is coming up with a startup. So in my lab we have been working with natural polymers for the last decade or so. And silk is a material that is produced naturally in India. India happens to be the second largest producer of silkworm silk. And all we do today is use the silk in saris and textiles and so on. But silk has been used as a suture for medical devices. So the stitching based on silk has been there. There are several FDA-approved products that are based on silk-based sutures globally. And what we did was we came up with methods to process silk so that it can be used in other medical devices. And with this, we set up a company, Intelligent Medical Products, where we licensed the technology from the CSI lab to a startup. Now, at that stage, so this was done way back in 2015. And doing at that early stage, probably there wasn't a manufacturer who would have taken up that because the process of bringing such a product to the market is long. The gestation period is huge, there is a huge amount of risk, there is financial risk as well. So we set up this company and we raised funding primarily to government grants to take the product from an IPR stage to a prototype stage. We did animal validation and we have today got approvals to do clinical trials as well. And the first product that we are commercializing based on silk is a bone void filling material. So this can be used to plug cavities in the bone which are formed due to cancer, trauma or infection. And we are very happy to share that our product in animal data we have seen that we are at least 2 times better than some of the global products that are currently available in the Indian market. So this environment of allowing a scientist to take this technology from the lab to the market has to be there. There has to be right schemes which allow the scientists to form the company. There has to be, as this gestation period is quite long for some of these technologies, especially in the chemical domain, I think there has to be a lot of institutes or government funding, just like BIRAC has done that in the medtech sector. There has to be others in renewable energy, in solar energy and so on, where there is huge amount of funding which allows you to take the prototype to the market. And I think that is one challenge that we have faced, to getting funds to sustain ourselves through this gestation period. So I think that is one of the critical suggestions that I have, and if this committee is writing that, I think the government has to do much more. They've done the incubators, they have come up with schemes to support early stage startups and so on, but I think there is a lot more that is required. We are on to the panel, and if there are any further questions, I can take that.
Just give me a mic for a minute and you see.
Please.
If I don't mention this thing, the entrepreneurs, the theme is vocal for local. Okay? And next panel discussion we will be holding only those entrepreneurs use the Indian technology and set up the industry and using this. My company, Glass Cabo Block Private Limited, took technology from Bhabha Atomic Research Center past 40 years back. When I took this industry, the technology, faith in Indian technology that much, and I am not on some commercial background person who has got ample of money just to pump, and if it is not there, okay, and I have mentioned that fund is a problem. So it's the first generation problem, that enterprise. But to have a faith and adopt. But those who got success, at least they should mention that if you have used the Indian technology, you have used the Indian innovations in the labs, and we got a good result established. So that is the main object of vocal for local. Likewise, if anybody gets the certificate from local lab and his product is going on, so at least we should say that the very good facility is available on these labs. We should get it certified. I am satisfied with this. So just that is the Prime Minister's word. We should be vocal for local. Whatever the local support we are getting, we should at least narrate something on the open forums. So that is just my mention. Please, Sanjay, take over.
Again, very interesting point actually, since I myself kind of work for promoting industry, academia, R&D interaction in my lab actually, where I actually work. Okay, I'm really the supporter of where industry gets support from R&D or academia, they should also I think publicize or acknowledge that kind of support. That's very
No.
important.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, so we will hear now one more perspective. We are adding to our wisdom now because we are getting different views from backgrounds like Dr. Anuya had something different, and then again we had Dr. Paresh and all our esteemed speakers. And very, I think, different and unique thinking to share with all of us. Then we have now Dr. Netha. I will introduce Dr. Netha to all of you. Dr. Netha is the founder and CEO of Synthera Biomedical, a Pune-based startup in the area of advanced materials with a focus on development of innovative biomaterials for hard and soft tissue repair and regeneration. Prior to incorporating Synthera in 2015, he completed his master's and PhD in biomaterials and tissue engineering from University College London, UK, followed by a postdoctoral stint at Institute of Biomaterials, Germany. As a researcher turned entrepreneur, he brings 10 plus years of experience in R&D and drug development of biomaterials with 20 plus academic papers and patents to his name. Now I welcome Dr. Netha to share his points with the participants, please.
Thank you, Dr. Bharadwaj, for your introduction, and hello everyone, panel members, guests, organizers. First of all, thank you very much, Dr. Bharadwaj ji, Dr. Saxena ji, for organizing this quite important panel discussion on vocal for local, and what it means for people from quite diverse backgrounds, and in terms of how they can actually leverage this call, this clarion call for vocal for local, to basically catalyze the country's growth. So it's a great opportunity for me to share some of my perspective. I think I'm the youngest panelist on this in this forum, so I think there's been a lot more there's more for me to learn, and I've gotten so much learning from all the panel members so far. So it's a wonderful opportunity for me. I think I can probably start off with my background. I'm a chemical engineer from Mumbai University, and then from chemical engineering I sort of specialized in the area of biomaterials. I had my master's and my PhD in biomaterials from University College London, and then to Germany, and then came back to India to start work on Synthera. So I think the first thing that I sort of focus on is in terms of what sort of brought me back to India to sort of steer away from an academic career and get into entrepreneurship in India. And I think the idea there was that when I was doing my research, it was very exciting work. What I have been working on, since about 2008 now, is a material known as bioactive glass. This is basically a family of glass and glass ceramic materials that are known to stimulate different hard and soft tissue types to undergo repair and regeneration. And they find applications mainly right now in medical devices. So bone graft substitutes is one application where bioactive glass has been very successfully commercialized. And so this is the material that I sort of have come to understand very well over the past 12 years. And so a lot of research, I done a lot of research, but the idea was that I wanted to see how much we could go further in terms of the commercialization aspect, how much I could go further. And so during my postdoc, that's when I started to understand a little more about the ecosystem in India and how things were sort of getting really exciting in terms of, in terms of the startup, in terms of, the environment, ecosystem that is coming around for startups. That's a thing that was being developed, and all of this was quite exciting. And at some point towards the end of 2014, I basically decided to take the step to come back and start working on my ideas to commercialize bioactive glass products. And so for us, 2015, I incorporated Synthera in 2015, and I think for us, vocal for local really has been about leveraging the strengths of the local ecosystem. Now, I think what was really important for a scientist turned entrepreneur like me right at the start was to get the kind of incubation support that people like us need in order to at least get our ideas off the ground. NCL, the Entrepreneurship Development Center, or NCL Venture Center, was absolutely crucial in terms of sort of listening to my ideas and then telling me, look, you've got something exciting going. Why don't you sort of start off on this journey? There are grants out there. There's funding available. And you should just sort of take a plunge and start your own company to do this. And this was really important for someone like me, because I'm a first generation entrepreneur. I'm not doing entrepreneurship. So this was very important, and this ingredient was there, and that sort of brought me on this journey. Now, in terms of how it's been since that time, I think like pretty much all the entrepreneurs in this panel and who are listening, it's been quite a roller coaster in the sense that there have been a lot of successes, there have been some mistakes. I think no entrepreneur can actually keep their head high there and say that I've never made a mistake in my own entrepreneurial journey. So I think for us, the journey so far has been about opportunities and challenges that are directly related to the theme of vocal for local. So the opportunities really are in terms of when we look at our markets, when we look at medical devices, for example, as Alia very correctly pointed out, India is heavily import dependent, at present imported due to there's various reasons for it, and I'll come back to that. But I think the opportunity really lies in the fact that there is tremendous market. India is what we have identified as one of the fastest growing markets. It's one of the products that we work on, and that's a major thing. I think the government support is a very important factor. In order to even that a lot of government support from grants, via activation, via has been very important there. There are multiple grants, and there's a lot of the government support for developing our products for developing the IP for filing patents and so on. That's been extremely important. And I think ultimately everything to do what we do comes down to people, and I think that's where India really shows that it's world class, because there are so many people here who are very good at what we do when it comes to innovation. So we've been able to put together a team that's very focused and very good at sort of going down the cycle of product development. They come with advantages from outside. It brings a lot of that expertise here. So that's what we do. Now, also challenges. I think some of what the idea here is that we have faced issues in terms of sort of going down this journey with a lot of things that are still sort of in the work in progress. There's a lot of aspects of the ecosystem that are still work in progress. Now, as I mentioned, medical devices is a very, it's still I would say a field that is in its infancy, especially for high risk products such as implants, for example, and certain types of implants are just across the board they're imported, and the reason for that really is that the ecosystem for developing these products still is a bit of work in progress. So I think that, so that means labs, that means testing facilities, that means the right partners for carrying out a lot of the preclinical work, the clinical work, the clinical trials. A lot of that is still sort of work in progress. So having to navigate that can be something of a challenge. Another challenge that we face, of course, is in terms of the regulatory scenario, which has evolved over the 5 years that we've been around, and it has become more organized. But when the changing regulatory scenario can basically mean a lot of challenge for entrepreneurs such as us, who basically have to adjust to newer realities. In terms of increased requirements for testing, increased requirements for compliance, and so on and so forth. It definitely needs to happen, but it does bring challenges for us as entrepreneurs to sort of navigate the scenario. But yes, the challenge, of course, is the funding. Again, as Anuya mentioned, there's a lot of funding to start off on your journey, but then there's this. As you go along, the expectation is that government funding will be backed by investments that come from investments that come via the entrepreneurial own contribution, whether that is through investments, whether that's through equity. And there again, we find that investors, for example, in India, are rather risk averse when it comes to investing in companies like ours, simply because we work in such areas that are quite advanced, and they can be a little difficult to understand. Again, changing scenario, things are getting better. There are people who are who really appreciate the kind of work we do and are willing to fund us and participate in our journey. So the way I see it really is that vocal for local is becoming quite pronounced. I see this trend over the past 5 years. We will move towards indigenization of more and more of these products as we understand, as we sort of go along, as we sort of start to tap into Indian markets. And I think for us, again, vocal for local also means that when you're working on great technology, or world-beating technology, the idea is that you're innovating locally, but you are essentially innovating for the world. So you're making world-class technologies, that have not been worked on anywhere else in the world, and you're making them available to the global market. So vocal for local really means for me to leverage the strengths of India to supply not just here but to the world as well. So yeah, on that note, I sort of end my
Thank you, okay, that is one part. I think most of our panel members have expressed their view in general. But I feel that proud, and I proudly say that Dr. V.K. Soni given us a product in fluorochemicals which is substituting the global material available globally anywhere in the world. So this is my pride, and I feel that there should not be any hitch to say these words openly, that my requirement with Indian product is now fulfilled. So when we say express, otherwise what is the subconscious mind, when we go to the market, what I said to you in my company's own experience, when I got a first order of 50,000 rupees in 1982, now with my Indian support, Indian whatever the facility available, I am proud, and now I am the #1 in graphite equipment, heat exchanger manufacturer, more than 60 CR turnover. Okay, so there are 3-4 global also. So what I will see that wherever, and again I compliment this, we are using all the Indian materials required for manufacturing the graphite block, graphite heat exchanger. In place of, even though we can make other the competitor of Gujarat Fluorochemical, they are applying. We prefer to go with Gujarat Fluorochemicals, and I am saying that their product yes. So that is there. Okay. So whenever we get a good service from the local industry, the mission of vocal for local is for that. At least you acknowledge and do it. So,
Dr. Siddharth, you are mute. Please mute yourself. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. What I'm saying is, like, there are some key takeaways from today's panel discussion from our eminent speakers. What is the cost competitiveness is very, very important for all of us, whether it's established company or startup. And other is supply chain efficiency that we have brought in. We have like all the loopholes, right from the raw materials to the product, making and then we launching this product or we marketing this product. Then other is we have to work locally and then we have to keep in mind the global market needs, and that's what not only we should get the requirement of the local market, we should also keep in mind we have global market to cater. And then that's how our companies will grow. But this something is that one is still important. We all have to mind. The other aspect is industry, academia, R&D partnership. And for that, we have to have a conscious effort by all our stakeholders to create enabling frameworks which can create transparency and very faith building exercise. Has to be real, and all stakeholders have to attack in this direction. And then ecosystem to support science and technology-based entrepreneurship has to be, and we have to consciously work towards that. And then for that, as a few speakers mentioned, that funding support from government, incubation facilities, battery support is very key, actually, very key, important part of that. And then team competency, also we have brought in the human resource. We manage the startups or maybe new businesses is also extremely crucial. And then other is sectoral nuances, like what we found now is like each sector, whether solar or maybe healthcare or aerospace, they have different nuances, different characteristics, and those have to be kept in mind when we launch or regulatory compliance and all that are very, very different in each of these sectors. And then other, last but not the least, a very important point is the conscious work towards having enabling frameworks, enabling formats by which we can create win-win situations for all of the stakeholders, because they should feel something they're getting in return for being part of this total process of innovation and launch of new products and then bringing them to society and public. And I think these are my I could take away from our wisdom from our eminent panel speakers. And then I go to now Praveenji, please. Praveenji, please, you can have your views now.
Unmute me. Unmute me. Yes. So, okay. I think that we are focusing to manufacturing locally, but our topic is one step ahead to that. Whatever we are getting, I am enjoying the fruits, but not telling the people that I enjoyed. So, it's a vocal for local. This thing is that at least you say that the food served by the hotel is good. You eat and you don't say that, you compare that. So that is the point in that, and what I was mentioning, that when I started 40 years back manufacturing the graphite equipment by Indian technology, okay, and I am satisfied with this technology from Harvard Research Center, giving that things, so people should adopt the Indian technology. They should not have any hedge. We very proudly say that the ice cream manufactured by German technology, I enjoy it. But the local, we say that no. So that is the main thing. We enjoy those things, we are comfortable with those things, but not locally transferring to the others, so they can also adopt these things. Okay, we are satisfied with the whatever given by these lab testing labs, it is acceptable. I enjoy it and it is good. So others can go and use this. So this is the main tool, and that is the meaning of vocal for local. Okay, any question from from the people, those who are available? Any question from? And we have got a very good attendance, 50 plus. So any delegate want to some specific question to from any panel member?
I will add a little more to this part actually, if I am permitted actually. The IRMRA has done similar products which were imported from Germany, USA, France, and we try to indigenize and use, that they are being used by Harvard Research Center and different case number.
Okay.
But we have the percentages for the usage, the cases where they were.
There is some.
There is a restriction of raw materials from abroad, specifically used in nuclear and other sectors actually. So we identified raw materials which can be used. We identified the technology and similarly, other sharp mounts basically. They are usually come from the Russia actually. For the ships, we have indigenized that we have been going in the step by step by the much more high capacity mounts also. Similarly, doors and hatch will be increased technology to life of the products in the ships because they are when it goes to the ships basically it needs to be more life because they cannot take away maintenance of the other components, so they need a good life also. The latest one important is the rubber dam technology. Let's see rubber dam mainly for managing the floods basically. In India we have either flood or drought actually. There is no in between. So we have also brought up this technology of rubber flexi dams where the height in the canal can be increased or decreased. Recently we have dedicated one such a dam in Nagpur, 15 meters length actually, and having 3 meters height actually. So it was one of the another technology which we developed and slowly picking up for the utilizing watershed and we don't just able go. Okay.
Dr. Rajkumar, there is a problem in your audio system. There is a problem in your audio system. Please, there is some problem in your audio system and internet. So please stop and you will come back after some time.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, audible. Okay. Okay, yeah. I was just telling that the expansion needed for meeting the latest regulatory testing. The government is bringing up energy efficient tires, but the Petroleum Conservation Research Association is bringing out the rating of the tires like 5-star, 4-star, 3-star ratings tires also. So there is a lack of facilities for testing is only a delaying factor. Otherwise, such rating of tires have come in Europe and the US and all 10, 15 years back. So that is what I was telling basically. So we must have equally upgrading the R&D laboratories and testing laboratories so that the regulatory things can be implemented faster and it will be supporting the vocal for local actually. That is definitely going to be important thing. So this is what I would like to share. And there is like one of the question derived that basically whether the testing abroad basically. It is not that India is not capable of testing. In fact, we have all the facilities in India. The only problem is some of the regulations based on France or Germany or Europe is being well spread in the market. So for example, water sealing rigs, there is a specification called RAS testing. There is no ISO, there is no ASTM, there is no Indian standard. But it is being tested as per the RAS specification. So just because our Indian user has put that, it should have applied to the RAS specifications. It has to go for the testing and abroad. So made in India, used in India, but testing is an abroad. So it's just like make in India, Swachh Bharat, all those missions. The test in India, quality assuring in India also should come to the market actually. I think that's what we need to say that. Oh, we are capable. Like nothing is, lacking in our facility. We have the same ICP, GCMS, HPLC, we can test in all the laboratory facility. Just because the standard is not there, now we are bringing up the standard with the BAS also. These are some of the latest development which I would like to share. I'm sure that, similarly, one more thing which I wanted to mention that there is no aircraft type testing facility in India actually. So the aviation sector is growing a lot. The aviation tires needs to be tested for quality assurance. So there is no tires are made in India, aviation tires. So every 40 to 50 landings, the tire needs to be changed actually. So what happens is we are importing huge amount of aircraft tires basically. And so that is costing us a lot of money. So we need to, the facilities, testing facility in India so that it can be, get into the indigenization and made into, we can also pick up separately and all that. So like that, there are a couple of things which is able to, manage for Indian cover products. So these are some of the thoughts which I thought of sharing. Thank you. Over to Mr. Sachna.
Thank you, Dr. Rajkumar. I think that the Indians are poor in marketing. Okay? So the Rubber Institute is not marketing well. So I say that we sponsor some of the programs that and
पेन ड्राइव घंटा हाँ पूरा कॉपी करके दे पूरा के आईपैड मुझे राले मुझे आडियो राले पोते हाँ आईपैड मन मेसेज तो ఇంతకుముందు చూసుకోలే ఇంకొందా ఓకేనా బ్లూ వైర్ కూడా తీసుకోండి అది కూడా తీసుకోండి ఇది అది కూడా తీసుకోండి ఇది ఆడియో సౌండ్ ఇది ఎడగటం తెలుసు సౌండ్ ఎవరో తగ్గిస్తే సౌండ్ మంచిగా పెట్టుకో పెట్టు ఆన్ చేసి ఆన్ పెట్టు సౌండ్ చేసి సౌండ్ సౌండ్ ఏంటంటే నిన్న బంద్ చేసి ఉంటుంది
Hello.
myself. It's mine. Yeah, it's mine.
It's yours.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
ఆడియో ఓకేనా వాడి గురించి సౌండ్ గురించి అలానే
How to check I'm audible or not?
నిన్న ఎడగట్టు
Somebody is asking to actually just down. Can you hear us, sir? You ask Professor Belfort. Professor Belfort. Am I audible? Can you put a message or just say hi? YouTube में start करिए.
Connect to my hotspot.
पवन है पवन जी.
నిన్న బ్యాక్ పెట్టినా ఫ్రంట్ పెట్టినా
Yeah, hello. Yeah, Mr. Belfort, Professor Belfort.
Yes.
Are you able to hear us? Hello.
Then another set of members and another set of samples in this lipid biolab. And the question was, what do these water molecules do? Is can we get desalination method that can look at the first few is in a collaboration between myself, Barboli, and Peterson at Cornell. We showed that the water structure, this peak, is a measure of the orientation and chirometry. Recently, Barboli sent me this paper from Nature Biotechnology, which just came out, in which the mechanisms that we currently know. So what I want to talk about today is number two. I want to expand this, and I'd like to tell you that in order to study the pore size distributions and the effect on particle transport, what we need is a tool. And the tool, what we want to do is develop this tool, and I'll discuss it in a few minutes. Why do polymer membranes have relatively poor selectivity? The first reason is the pore size distributions are wide. The second is it's a polymer, so it's flexible. And if it's flexible, you can't have basically a perfect separation. And so you need to increase its rigidity and cross-link it. And maybe polarize the membrane. That's what people are doing now. This was first done at the atomic imaging plant in Israel. And then we moved to America, and now there are groups together with Exxon. What they're doing is they're making hollow fibers and basically increasing their rigidity using polarization. The next problem is you can have some free volume inside these membranes, but you lose it. It starts to densify and age. And so you need to cross these additives that give you more free volume. Finally, you need to describe the kinetics of these two processes I mentioned earlier, phase inversion and interfacial polymerization. Now, Kieran Smallwood did beautiful work in the 1990s, but everybody seems to have forgotten about. These these are random fluctuation properties that make membranes. And so we don't really know what we're making. And then I'd like to address a new and ignored concept of membrane. There's a new tool, internal structural performance, and develop new optimal structural designs. And so we want to see how to get this tool to help us understand how these membranes are doing and how their morphology changes. And so we will try to focus on this from now on for the rest of the talk. So let's look at the global directed evolution. I need to tell you what this is. So, if you take a protein, say an enzyme, which is a catalyst, for those of you who are not in the biotech area, you take an atom, for example, molecule moves through a two-drop structure, and any other structure. And once we do that, we put out mutations. Let's go on. Can you see the initiative of that? Yeah. Okay, I'll just share it. Yes, the initiative, you see? Just a second. Can you see now? Yes. Okay. Sorry, I don't know why I bring you. So the idea here is to copy or emulate this process of, it's called SELEX, S-E-L-E-X, this biological process of looking for winners. And we'll see if the idea we can use it to do it for membrane production. By the way, it's not only membrane production, you can produce other systems this way by looking for errors and improving your performance. And eventually, what you do is you get an evolved membrane by going round and round, making more changes, and eventually you get the best one you want. And so the idea is to use a tool that we've developed here, using silicon, and use the computer to help us first understand, and not build the hundreds of membranes, but build them on a computer so that we can save time, and save money, and save effort. And then develop, we are now working on mutations and changes, and we're developing a screen for the laboratory also. We've been doing that in the lab too. We have a provisional patent which we just applied, and so we're very excited about this idea. So let me show you how the tool is built. Let's talk about the tool. Now, chemical engineers know that you need to understand fluid mechanics and drag particles inside a membrane, porous membrane. And so here we've got our fluid mechanics Navier-Stokes equations. We can take them, we can add the forces due to particle-particle interaction, and we can add the forces due to particle-membrane interaction that we want. And when we do that, we can combine the particle and fluid drag mechanics together with the forces, and this is being done by the measurements of the forces were done by Nico Sochi. And the theory is being done by my student from China, Chen Guang. Now, if we look at the morphology, we can take pictures of the morphology. We can take a tight membrane on the left. This is the top, the middle, and the bottom. We can do a molecular membrane, a 5-micron body, the sulfide membrane, a formal version, and we can image the inside of the membrane. And then what we can do is we can provide a domain for flow in the computer. And so here is an example in large scale. Again, I showed you the blue one earlier. Can you see the particles coming in? Can you hear me, by the way? Yes? Yes, we can hear you. Okay, just say yes. That's all. Thank you. Yes, so the particles are going in. And so on the computer, the white space here, the white segments, all these are from a real image on a real membrane. The particles are, we are putting those in the computer and asking them to tell us where they go. And what you immediately see is channeling. And so I want to continue on and show you how we measure the forces. So we want to measure the forces with the two big blue arrows on here. That's force between silica and silica. These are silica particles that we use when they're 1 micron in diameter. And then, of course, we're going to also look at particle membrane interaction. So I need to show you how you measure forces. On the left side is a force profile. That is, you come in from the left, you bring the two surfaces together until they get close. When they get close, you get a repulsive force. They don't want to get closer. This may be due to the filter between them that you have to push out. It may be due to the fact that they both the same charge coming down. We start pulling them apart. When you pull the two surfaces apart now, they jump out. When they jump out with the red arrow, you can measure the adhesion force. So I would like to show you that we can measure repulsion forces and adhesion forces directly between two surfaces. And we want to know so we can put that into the Navier-Stokes equations, add the forces, and so that you have to feel confident of interaction. Let me just show you just days. And to do many of them would take months. So I sent my postdoc to Holmgren's lab in Basel, Switzerland, where they taught us how to do a force map in an afternoon. So you can do 400 force measurements in one afternoon. Not all of them work out. Only the white ones are the good measurements. The black ones are dead measurements. And in fact, the grey ones are indifferent. So we can put a theory, if you look at the top right, to the repulsion part. And then we're going to see if we can measure the adhesion part too. The DLBO theory is a very famous theory from 1945. For the Arvin Landau, Vermeer, and Overbeek. I met Overbeek in Australia some 35 years ago. And what they did was they came up with this two-parameter system, electrostatics and van der Waals forces. A is the Hamilton constant. It's how sticky the system is. So if we can fit this equation to this experimental result, we can get out how sticky the surface is, and we can get out the potential at the surface through Z. Z is in the first term, the electrostatic term. And so we also need to worry about the salt concentration. And that's the little kappa. You see kappa here, kappa to the minus 1 is the divisor. And so as you increase the salt, you will see in a minute that the divisor gets smaller and smaller. So let's have a look at the results quickly. I've got two sets here, very quick for you. The first one on the left is that silica with a silicon wafer cells really to emulate particle-particle interactions. We've got a series of measurements. And the second one is the silica with the membrane, following the sulfur membrane. It's a hydrophilic modified membrane. It's not actually a regular polysulfur membrane. And when you add salt, as you see with this arrow, blue arrow, the numbers, the whole profiles get squashed in. Because what you're doing is you're pushing the double layer in, and the whole system looks like it's smaller. The membrane looks like it's a bigger pore, and the particle looks like it's actually smaller than it appears. And so these numbers, all these numbers in the blocks, give us the adhesion forces and the surface potential, and we can put them all into the Navier-Stokes equation. The second issue was how do particles get lifted off the surface? And so we have on the same three measurements, the particle measurement forces on a horizontal scale in piconewtons. And so we can now add a computer program to try to predict these and fit to these data, and then use that in the Navier-Stokes equation. So finally, we combine the model, and I'd like to show you how we combine everything together. We take the membrane, we use image J to image the membrane, the cross-section. We then take that, and that whole sequence of data that we get from image J, which is streamed from NIH, it's a free program, and then you put it into a simulation, and you can actually get the real membrane on your computer. We then want to combine the continuum flow model on the left with the ionic with the double layer. You can see that we're showing you the concentration versus double layer. And then membrane, and then we can predict particle tracking. Two positions, they all enter at a series of positions at the top, and they seem to go through channeling and all come out at very dense channels, which is very bad for separation, which tells us this is an extremely poor membrane. And this is the best known commercial membrane that we have. And so I'd like to just end by showing you a few guiding design principles. I've just shown you this best commercial membrane. Let's use this silicon, this tool that we've developed, to look at some other effects. I'd like to vary the stickiness of the membrane, that is the Hamilton constant A. I'm going to vary the equalization flow field to see how it moves down and reduces channeling. And I want to adjust the tortuosity of the flow also, and I'll show you how to do that. By adjusting tortuosity, some of you may remember your early work on distillation here that you were at university. The That is the stages, number of stages we need to improve. Membranes have few stages. They are not very good in stages compared to chromatography. However, they are much faster and much more and much faster. So here is a case of the commercial membrane, uneven flow. This work was done by Joel Klasky and Corey Woodcock. We take in 301 small diameter particles with 152 micron diameter green particles. And what you see is, as they go in, you can see they all go down, clearly the selectivity is not good. And you can see some of the green ones get stuck because they're bigger and they don't go through, the whole system is poorly designed. And so the question was, can we confirm that that result in the computer is actually agrees with experiment? So we took red particles, we passed them through a membrane, we have the red dots on the left, and what we were able to do is to use a technique called energy dispersion X-ray spectroscopy, and can distinguish between the X-ray that hits a particle of silica versus the membrane, which is polymer, and that is the red particles here. And so we can plot that red particles directly from EDS, and we can compare it to the computer behavior, and what we see is a qualitative agreement. And so, in fact, this method is now being used by a membrane company because they're very excited about this point. I'd like to just show you again, these are the same two particles, 1 and 2 micron, the red and green. So this is a much more sticky membrane on the right. And watch the particles go through. And what happens is you notice the particles get stuck in the sticky one, and not much gets stuck in the smaller, in the left one. And so we can actually add and decide how we want to change particles or look at particle sticking, and we can actually measure them and change the performance. The next thing is we want to take the tortuosity by changing the orientation of these teardrops. And when we do that, we make more of a channel, the tortuosity of the traveling distance is larger at the bottom figure, and so we start to get some separation. I want to end off my conclusions. Membrane filtration of liquids and polymer membranes. It's a fast-growing, mature industry. It's over $16 billion industry. The desalting, drinking water industry is big time today, with water getting more aluminum particles, chemicals, petroleum products, and purifying waste streams. In the biotech area, I was very lucky at the very beginning to be a consultant for Eli Lilly when they were making the first biotech product of insulin, recombinant insulin, which today is standard. We don't use it anymore to get insulin. And so major challenges still exist. I've tried to tell you what they are. And I think if we can use selected evolution, we can use this process to help us. We've already done several steps, and we've got many other steps to go. This is the first presentation of this process. I gave the same story to ICON in England and to NICHE a month ago. The goal is to get structure by design and know what you're doing and not make random structures. And I've already mentioned this. And if you want to read more about it, you can read it out of the Bunker Chemical paper. Learning in the future, well, here is a technique that enables us to walk through a membrane, inside a membrane. What we want to do is make it three-dimensional. Right now, I've shown you only two-dimensional study. We want to go to a three-dimensional study. And we've already made some progress. We're soon publishing a paper and theory on this work. I have not mentioned it yet today, but we will come up with it. Finally, my acknowledgements. I'd like to acknowledge my wife, Marlene Belford, for all her help. She's a member of the National Academy of Sciences, and I believe we're the only couple that's a husband and wife in engineering and in sciences. My ex and present PhD students, my postdocs, collaborators, creative contributions are greater than 100 published, 200 papers on synthetic membrane. I would also like Indian students who, so I need to thank you for sending your students to me and for me helping them start a career. Right now I have an Indian student and we had several a few years ago and they've all done very well and some of them have gone back to India. One popular is back in India who's very smart, young man, not so young anymore I think. Funded oppositely of DOE, they need money, the NSF is giving me money, and many companies have funded me in the US, Japan, France, Denmark, over the past 20 years. Finally, I'd like to thank Professor V.D. Pasar Rao, President of IICOG, for inviting me, and Mr. and Dr. Saturma for recommending my name. I end off by 2 slides. This is a book you can get. It just came out last year, a research agenda for transforming separation science. It's a fabulous book. There are about 12 authors, of which I am one. And this book basically reviews where we are, where we should go in separation science, not only in scale up, but also in scale down for analytical use. And then finally, let me leave you. I know you people in India are very deep and think about philosophical ideas. And I would like to mention John Maynard Keynes, Keynes' economist, who said the difficulty lies not in new ideas, but in respecting the old ones. Thank you for your time, and I hope this was of some interest to you, and I appreciate you listening to me. I'm sorry about the initial problems we had. Yeah. Thank you, Professor. Thank you for getting sent to Indian. Now, I would like to request our former President of ISNC, Sri Master Garu, to propose vote of thanks for this session. Over to you, Master Garu.
Thank you, Professor. This is Master Reddy, past president. You are student Ananda Krishnan and meeting past students, Setraman's son, myself and Setraman, we are business partners for 40 years. So on behalf of Indian Institute of Chemical Engineers, on behalf of Dr. Basarao, President and Council members, I propose vote of thanks, Professor George Belfort for wonderful lecture on membranes and latest developments. Many thanks for your helping the students, Indian students. It's really wonderful. Thanks for helping the country, our country also. Thanks a lot for your lecture at our parliamentary function. Thank you very much. Thanks, sir. So, parliamentary function, so all chemical engineers online, parliamentary function will be started in about 10 minutes. Kindly be waiting. Be waiting for 10 minutes. Thank you very much.
Kindly stay back. We'll have to join the validity function later.
Repeat again.
Please stay back. You have to join the validity function.
Wonderful. प्रॉब्लम है लास्ट टाइम तुम कैसा हटाओ
Jain sir, is there any issue? Please, we are audible, sir. Please mute yourself, sir. Otherwise, noise is coming our end. So, very good evening to all the delegates, today's chief guest, participants on ChemCon 2020. So now we almost reached to our end of the program. After these wonderful plenary lectures, we will be starting our validation. So I'd like to invite today's guest, chief guest, and other dignitaries on the speaker. First, I'd like to invite President 2020, President Professor V.V. Basavarao, President-elect Professor M.K. Jha, Honorary Secretary, myself, Professor K. Venkateswara, Patron, ChemCon 2020, Dr. K. Sainath, Managing Director, Clear Engineering Private Limited, Guest of Honor, ChemCon 2020, in the valedictory session, Sri Raj Nair, Chairman, Aplam Consulting Limited, also Guest of Honor in this session in ChemCon 2020, Professor Parameshwar De, former President and member of the Organizing Committee, ChemCon 2020, and Joint Organizing Secretary Dr. Sanjay Bharadwaj in ChemCon 2020. So I welcome you all in this valedictory program. Now I am requesting Professor V.V. Basavarao to preside this valedictory program. Thank you, sir.
So good evening to all of you. Respected Professor Belfort, RK, USA, chief guest of today's valedictory function. Respected Sri Rajesh Nair, Chairman, Avalon Consulting Limited, guest of honor. Respected Dr. K. Sainath Garu, Managing Director, Flying Engineers Limited, guest of honor to the validity function, respected Professor P. past President, IICLC, guest of honor, Professor S. Venkateswar, patron of the Chemical Organizing Committee, Dr. Sanjay Bharadwaj, Chairman, Hyderabad Regional Center, IICLC, and Organizing Secretary, Chemicon 2020, Professor M.K. Jha, newly elected President for the next year, IICLC, and Dr. Avijit Ghosh, Honorary Secretary, IICLC, Calcutta, Mr. S. Airaya, Joint Organizing Secretary, Chemicon 2020, and other office bearers of IICLC and also Hyderabad Regional Center, esteemed council members, past president, distinguished members of the chemical engineering fraternity, esteemed colleagues, and dear students, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I am very happy and glad to welcome you all to this valedictory program of 73rd annual session of Indian Institute of Chemical Engineers, Chemicon, organized jointly by IICH headquarters and Hyderabad Regional Center. In last 3 days, the Chemicon has been conducted and organized different events on a digital platform for the first time, since you all know the physical mode is not possible due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which is still continuing. Although it is organized on a virtual platform, I am happy to announce that Chemicon 2020 has successfully achieved all the standards as it is physically possible and has also enlightened as the previous years with many academic and industry luminaries shared their thoughts and understanding and insights. So I should compliment the Hyderabad Regional Center for joining the hands with the headquarters under these difficult situations. A few words about IICLC may be relevant here to introduce our beloved organization to Professor Georges Belfort, who had joined us as a chief guest at the early morning at BSA. Sir, the institute is recognized as the premier body of chemical engineers in India, committed to the advancement of chemical engineering education and profession in general. The institute was started in 1947. Since then, the institute has been constantly molding and remolding itself and resetting its priorities to meet the changing demands of the economy, market, and the society at large across the globe. In the process, the institute has emerged to be a force to reckon with, having over 30,000 members on its roll, 42 regional centers and 168 student centers across India. Over the years, IICH has become a responsible partner in nation building and contributing towards sustainable development of the society and with the disseminating of knowledge and enhancement of the skill in chemical engineering and its allied fields. Simultaneously, the institute has been promoting a platform for communication and dialogues among the chemical engineering professionals, recognizing young talents by conferring awards and offering research grants, as well as honoring acclaimed personalities in the academic and industry arenas. IICH has also been playing the role of an advisory body for policy matters in the field of environmental and industry safety. Indeed, at IIT, we realized that effective education, professional empowerment, and skill enhancement should be our most valuable means to minimize the adversities and ensure sustainable development of the communities of the chemical engineering. Chemicon is not only the signatory event of the IIGSC, it has emerged as a key event for the chemical engineering fraternity across the globe. The purpose of organizing the conference is to bring together academicians, research scholars, and students from different institutions to exchange significant thoughts and novel ideas, and also to highlight opportunities and challenges facing by the chemical engineering and its allied areas. The ultimate goal is to get insight into future trends and share knowledge on technology options and strategies. The outcome of the Chemicon will help the institute and also participants to plan their professional calendar for next 1 year. Therefore, the Chemicon is being organized every year as an annual event with this objective. In this Chemicon, inauguration function graced by Padma Shri K. Vijayaraghavan, Principal Scientific Advisor to Government of India, as chief guest. So, as previous years, so this year's also on virtual mode, 3 memorial lectures: Dr. H.L. Roy Memorial Lecture, N.R. Kamath Memorial Lecture, and C.K. Murthy Memorial Lecture. These 3 lectures were organized and they were delivered by very eminent personalities from USA and India. Also, Dhirubhai Ambani Commemoration Day oration lecture was given by Dr. Venu Swarup, who is also from Government of India, Principal Secretary to the Biotechnology. 2 sessions for panel discussions were organized very successfully, and the recent issues have been discussed, and the deliberations went on. They are going to submit a report for the further necessary action which can be taken in those areas. Very eminent personalities participated in the deliberations in panel discussions. So around 220 technical papers in various fields were presented, and just before this valedictory function, Professor Belfort delivered plenary lectures, and it is very much informative, and we all are enlightened because of the Professor Belfort lecture. Further, Hyderabad Regional Center extended its fullest support in organizing the Chemicon. All executive members under the guidance of Dr. Sanjay Bharadwaj worked very hard and made this dream reality. I am very happy and feel proud to be a member of Hyderabad Regional Center, Indian Institute of Chemical Engineers, because I got supports from all the corners, from my elders to the juniors. My sincere appreciation to members of HRC team and also the University College of Technology principal for giving the all infrastructure to conduct this Chemicon on virtual mode. This year, coming to the IICHC activities, this year under uncertainties and difficulties due to the prevailing pandemic across the country, we could be able to conduct considerable activities for student members of IICHC. We arranged the industry internships in the companies, which are some of the life organizational institutes helped for this particular cause. So around 2,300 students online trained in different areas, which are very thrust and also be important to the young budding chemical engineers. So providing a small financial support to the students under the guidance of ISHC experts for innovative research projects in trust areas. So that also we have done this year. Offering academic support to weak students with the supplementary lecture notes prepared by ISHC experts. Initiating the coaching for the graduate aptitude test in engineering, so which is the entrance exam for the PG in engineering area, particularly in chemical engineering area. So we have initiated the coaching classes, and also we included coaching for the other competitive exams at a very low discounted fee. And for the corporate life members of ISHC, skill development programs and certificate courses with AICT approval by utilizing the services of ISHC members who are authorities in their own fields have been planned. Certificate course in industry safety and Six Sigma and quality management are also scheduled. Development of industrial polyclinics to offer industrial consultancy services at different regional centers have been initiated. Preparation of lecture materials in various courses related to the chemical engineering programs in the form of online notes, videos, PowerPoint presentations are started preparing. So those were uploaded in the website of ISHC. Therefore, the students can view that and get enlightened in their own subjects with the subject contents. Granting the small funds to publish the data books, lab manuals, monographs with ISHC affiliation were also initiated, and whoever are maybe planning for the patenting work, for them the maximum possible funding is also initiated. All said and done, the immediate challenge which we should address in financial sustenance of the ISHC. This year we could generate the revenue around rupees 25 lakhs through online training programs. Hope this can become annual revenue for ISHC every year if online programs are continued. So this is one of my dream. So online programs should not be stopped. I request the President who is taking the charges from me to continue this. So I am confident that the journey will continue. I am grateful to the Honorary Secretary Dr. Abhijit Ghosh, who has done commendable work at headquarters, and my other colleagues, office bearers, vice presidents, treasurer, joint secretary, controller of the examinations in ISHC Council. They supported me for their outright cooperation and collaboration during this difficult year. I must be thankful to them. Many senior members of the institute helped with their valuable suggestions and guidance. I am grateful to all of them. My sincere appreciations also goes to the staff of the ISHC headquarters for their continuous support in functioning of the institute. Distinguished guests and participants, respected seniors, esteemed colleagues, and beloved students. So we are going to the new year within a couple of days. 2020 ends, 2021. Let us welcome the 2021 with great hopes. That means whatever pandemic is there, that will disappear in 2021. So 2021 may bring fortunes to the not only the individual families, also the ISHC. I thank you all again for joining us this evening on this very special occasion of the valedictory function. Let us all pledge to work together in creating a sustainable ecology and also sustenance of our beloved institution ISHC in coming generations. I thank one and all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable thought, speech, and motivation on an address this valedictory session. So now I am requesting Professor S. Venkateswar sir for giving a welcome address on this ChemCon 2020.
Sir, on చేయండి sir, off చేసి on చేయండి, పైకి అనండి.
Hello.
Yeah, it's working sir.
Good evening, all of you. Good evening, all of you.
So you audible, sir, please. Good evening, sir.
Hello. Please continue.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir. Good audible, sir.
Thank you. I do welcome you all for this valuable function of my PhD and also jointly with HRC Hyderabad Institute. And it is my great privilege to give the report of ChemCon 2020. And also, we are very thankful to IICHE as they have given me this joint session to Hyderabad Regional Center. All the members are very happy and agreed to it and enjoyed it. And coming into the joint sessions, we have conducted in 1969, 1985, 2002 and 2020 is the fourth one. In the gap of 16, 17, 18 years. It is coming sequential on its own way. I would like to present the ChemCon report. ChemCon 2002 is the annual flagship event of Indian Institute of Chemical Engineers (IICHE). During ChemCon 2020, success stories, research findings, and learnings were shared to handle present challenges to chemical sector and to encourage budding chemical engineers. Discussions were on all important themes of chemical engineering like petrochemicals, polymers, fertilizers, pharmaceuticals, chemicals, textile, food processing, nanotechnology by experienced professors and students. In addition to two very useful panel discussions were conducted on the topics of Atmanirbhar Bharat and Vocal for Local. I must thank our sponsor, Bhagirathi Chemical and Industries Limited, as our industry associate for supporting ChemCon 2020. Efforts of Team ChemCon 2020, led by President IICHE, Professor require whole of their appreciation and commendation. I think we will clap to him for successful conducting. Require whole of the appreciation and commendation. Complete report on ChemCon 2020 shall be presented by Organizing Secretary Dr. Sanjay Bharadwaj, but he is not here at present, but probably let him online website.
I'm here, sir. No, I'm here, sir. I'm here, sir. Yes, sir.
This ChemCon had widely acclaimed chief guest, Professor K. guest of honor for both inaugural reality sessions. Divya Ambani commemoration orator, Dr. Renu Swarup, memorial lecture speakers, and other keynote speakers. Overall, ChemCon 2020 was an outstanding event, first time in digital format, organized at a notice of approximately 1 month. We have to note it. 1 month we have done. This I thank the organizers for giving me a chance to give a small report on this. Thank you. I request now the response regarding the conduct of chemical and also the comments. If you have anything from the delegates.
Some of you may speak by unmuting yourself. Hello? Am I audible?
The voice is correct, sir. No tension about
Okay. So please respond regarding the organization of the Chemicon online mode, because as Professor S. rightly said that this is the first time which we have organized. Maybe some technical problems could have occurred during the inaugural function, done very well. So if any comments from the audience or delegates, so please, appreciations or any comments, welcome. Yeah, please respond, maybe one or two.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. This is really a moment of joy, proud, and fulfilling the desire of all the delegates, all the members of ICAG, that we should not break the chain of ChemCon 2020. And the only option is to organize it virtually. There is no first-hand experience so far with the ICAG, even not this other organizations also, to organize this in a virtual mode. That's a strength. Really, I appreciate the energy, the efforts of HRC Hyderabad Regional Center, executives. All are my very good friends, taken care of all of us very well. And due to their affection and love, I come all the way driving from Bombay to this place. And they fulfill what is my expectation out of this. So you again proved number one. So okay, have a great cheers and clapping for without your efforts, people are not even ready to come out from their house. At 8 o'clock, my dear Rangarao coming to us with his tea, breakfast, and everything. He had taken care to that extent that our guests, those who are attending physically, should be taken care. So I salute Rangarao to you for your efforts, your energy, and your love for ICAG and ICAG members. Really, it's you have raised the bar to such a height that it is such a corona situation. Still, you prove that if you desire, if you can dream it, you can do it. And within the shortest span of a month, it has been organized so well. So again, to the volunteers, to the organizers, to my senior Venkateshwar, Bhaskar, Seturaman, they all guided well, so you should feel proud of. And Mahendra, okay, ready to, okay, I am coming to the last. So, because eating is giving you the full satisfaction. So he has provided us the full satisfaction with us. They have elevated and done the job. All of them, from all of those who are attending, who are attending virtually, please clap for them once for their efforts and their energy, their vision and performance. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, anyone?
President, there are many responses to the job box from the audience.
Happy evening to all. This is Bhaskar Reddy, past president, 2011
level. It's a wonderful opportunity to conduct ChemCon in 2020 virtually. And we can see the attendance is, I have attended at least 10 ChemCons, and I have seen AGM having highest attendance virtually and physically together. About 10 ChemCons which I have seen. And similarly, valedictory also had very good attendance over here, and I am happy the wonderful organizers, local organizers, and from head office, Abhishek and their team, they have done wonderful job in conducting this ChemCon 20 to the highest satisfaction, to the soulful and heartful happiness of the delegates. I am very happy. Our council members, Sajjana has given comments, and he is very happy with the arrangements in all aspects. That's what he said. I suppose it started from 8 o'clock, ended in the night around 9:30, 10. He means in all aspects he is very happy. So all the delegates are very happy, and we wish we could have done physically, but unhappiness is because of the pandemic. Because in 2002, what we have done in one of the best hotels as on that time, Viceroy, it was a really wonderful program. That's what all the delegates who came said, so that it happened, and we could have done that for this year. But anyway, virtually also we could do it. I wish all the delegates all over the country are happy with our performance, and under the guidance of the President Baswarao. I congratulate the incoming President, Mr. Jha, and the Secretary has done wonderful activities, and yesterday's his statement and his presentation was really wonderful, cleaning up the past many years of problems. That's really very great. I wish he will continue next year also, and wish the headquarters in All India Institute of Chemical Engineers will contribute more and more and make our fraternity grow better for the benefit of the chemical engineers, and at the last to the nation also. That will be helpful. Thank you very much.
Yes. Yes, yes. He is finishing.
Hello. Yeah, yes, please. Professor Balasubramaniam, yeah, please.
This is the
Yeah, please, sir.
Professor V.K. Srivastava, he is from me. I think I must congratulate the whole team, the President and the Secretary particularly, and certainly the whole team. But I still feel one thing, that why this Sudhakar has been done at Bhubaneswar. That question will always remain in my mind. So let us first cheer up for the Hyderabad railway section who took the courage. So I must congratulate both my colleague Rangarao and my old colleagues, I mean to say my earlier past president, Bhaskar Reddy, Cheturaman, and all the whole team who is there present physically there. I really feel that I could not make it to come physically there, but I missed the chance. But I have tried my best to see every glimpse of the functions, starting from the inaugural and including the valedictory. And today's lecture was fantastic. I think probably one of the best lectures which you could listen during ChemCon. So I must congratulate and thanks to the whosoever has selected Professor George for that purpose. I think it is very wonderful. I think we all enjoyed it now. And I can see the hospitality which Dr. Bhaskar Reddy said. Yes, we remember very well in Viceroy Hotel, and we had all the memories of it. And very highest written also that we are missing the hospitality. Forget about pandemic will keep on coming and going, but that will remain in the memory of most of us. So here, and thank you very much the Hyderabad Business Center, the local organizing team. I think I must tell, and thank you very much.
One thing you are missing your social in the evening.
If you can make it online, you will be fine.
book yesterday, but I think this show it started with our Basavarao sir and Avijit taking the first step, and Dr. G.D. Yadav sir for really saying that yes, you can go ahead. Why not to conduct a campaign like this? So all the support of all our past presidents, everyone that initiated that yes, it can be conducted and this should be taken ahead. And then today we are at the end of this session and enjoying each and everything. And I think Basavarao sir was, I told him yesterday that people are saying once more to be the president. But I think he says, let the ball be rolling. Why not? And so we welcome Jha Saab, basically, who has given us the new letter things are going to go ahead. And yes, our unanimous secretary, Dr. Avijit Ghosh, for his tremendous effort throughout the year. I think he is not sleeping and not letting anybody else sleep. I think around 2,500 students, not just coming in his dream, but in my dream, not allowing me to sleep also. So that was his total effort. And yes, over here, apart from our council members, I think Shyam Sundar Saab, our ex-council members, and for Usman, yes sir, I think Raja Reddy Saab, he is management. We have seen with sir and his guidance. I think the first half he is alumni at Osmania University College of Technology. He is writing president of Senior Secretary of the Alumni Association. He is the president of this club. We are at MLA Recreation Center Club. So we sometimes feel, when we heard the name, we felt like, oh, we are going to be MLS. And when we entered, we thought he is actually MLS. He has a very good popularity and love for us. And it is our privilege.
He has given the comfort of MLS to all of us.
Being from industrial background, I think he owns a pesticide company into formulations. And yeah, technical person, great to spend time with you, sir. It was really an honor to spend time with you. We are lucky actually to have you. And the crisis management, what I mentioned, I think yesterday, I think in 5 minutes he arranged all the things. I think just one call. Yeah, just one call. We are here for 2.5 days because of the network issue we got stuck. So immediately arranged a very beautiful facility. Like we have 2-3 seminar halls. The total floor belongs to us, it seems. Total center belongs to us, it seems.
And kitchen.
And there is a TT table. There is a snooker billiard tables also. So whenever people feel that they need to refresh, they go and play something. So very thanks to you, sir. And I think we had enjoyed all our day. So thanks to College of Technology, Shyam Sundar Saab, Raja Reddy Saab, and yes, Bhaskar Saab, and yes, Basavarao sir. I think you may say that I am not the president now, but I don't think anybody is going to leave you. You will be always in our heart. Hardly physically you will be there. Nobody will leave you, sir. Because under this pandemic, coming with a profit in an organization of IIT, it is not a joke. It is a serious effort. So thanks a lot, Secretary MRC, and I'm also really feeling proud that I'm able to be here and give a good contribution with Dr. Sunil also with us along here. So thanks a lot. We enjoyed this and a totally memorable session. Yes, I am missing all the group, the youngsters group, our senior group, Raja Simhan, Karthikeyan Saab, everyone. Dr. Bala, congratulations.
You are not here, but still I think you have a good news. So party is due. And thanks to everyone. Thanks a lot.
So thank you, Dhawanji. Actually, Dhawan and Praveen section are special to IISc. Not only IISc, but College of Technology, particularly HRC, because they travel a long distance of 1,000 kilometers by road. So I must be thankful to them, and also thanks to them by sponsoring, regular sponsor to all the events. Yeah, now I request, because we will let us listen the chief guest. Now I request the chief guest, Professor Georges Belfort, RPI, yes, vision. So I request, as a chief guest, you please listen, sir, because you were there early morning in our place, and we must be thankful to you for gracing the occasion, wishing the IISc and particularly Hyderabad Regional Center, as Sethuram sir rightly told that, and you know everything of Hyderabad Regional Center and IISc, and we require your constant support, and also Sethuram sir given your reference. So we should be thankful to the Sethuram sir also. Now I request you to address as a chief guest and bless us, because we are very good. Please bless us. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay, I just wanted to thank everybody. This is a very impressive group. What really impresses me is the warmth of everybody for each other, and that working together will make success rather than not doing that. I do want to thank Mr. Satyaran, both for sending his son to work in my lab and also for inviting me today. This is a very impressive group, and I wish you luck. And keeping this team together is fantastic. And I hope to participate in the future in presence in my body. I hope to fly to India and not sit on the internet and not meet you. I want to meet you people. I remember when I was last there in 2002, in Hyderabad, we had a fantastic time, and also I was treated very well in Dubai, and I must say, from 1947 I worked out to 73 years old. The Institute of Indian Institute of Chemical Engineering, and this is you'll be very proud of your efforts and everything you've done. So thank you again, and thank you for inviting me. I just hope the talk wasn't too specific, so that most people didn't really follow. I hope that they could follow something. My feeling is that keep it up. And thank you for sending your wonderful students to my group. I really got in the chat room, one of the students has told me she's applied to RPI to work in my group. So I hope we can continue this tradition. Thank you very much for everything, and congratulations on a wonderful meeting.
Thank you. So now I request Dr. K. Sainath, who is also known to the College of Technology and particularly Hyderabad Regional Center, and also alumni of College of Technology, who supports the college and also the events which will be conducted in the College of Technology as well as in Hyderabad Regional Center from IICSE. And I request Dr. Sainath sir to speak a few words during this validity function.
Thank you, Mr. Rastro. So you are able to listen to me?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible to everyone? Yeah, okay, thank you. So, first of all, congratulations to your work in class 2, able to hold the conference and successfully holding it in these difficult times. And thankful to Professor Basara and to the Professor for making me part of this conference and giving me an opportunity to listen to Professor Balfour, excellent research person. And now listening to him, we feel like seeing the black and white movie after seeing the previous science fiction. Because the expected results going at the Balfour. So let's think about me just 2 minutes that I'm into the preparation control system and then particularly the operational particulates. And then Balfour was talking about filtration and memory filters. I was very happy that some of some relationship with this. And we are into acquisition control with the cement, power, and sugar. Wherever there is a less separation is required, we are there. And apart from that separation, we are also involved in active solution treatments like SOX and different things. Now, coming back to this telecom conference and 2 main topics which plenary sessions which they had. About rknetha RF, that is the role of engineering stores in innovation and local development. So, running this company for the last 25 years, I think, this role of engineering stores in innovation and local development. I'm part and parcel of this process which is going on in India for the last few years. Because in India, the peculiar situation is we have, like the Dr. Shankar expressed in his lecture the other day, that we have isolated excellence centers in India in science and technology, like ISRO, BART, this thing. They are excellent with international standards and we have our own indigenous technology to the post of. But unfortunately, the same cannot be said about most of the other fields where we are involved. Because the basic air pollution, which is a simple equipment that we use with the back filters and exercise respirators, and so on. Particularly the back filters. But all the process back filters operating at higher temperatures, about 180 degrees, 200 degrees. The total filter flat is still imported. We are dependent on the foreign companies to make it work here. And similarly, the technology is involved in filtration and research and research, India is still a process going on because in 1984, when the Coal Act came and the operation of none of the Indian customers were there which were actually had experience in the regulation control system as such. Because we have few companies with foreign collaborations and directly from foreign companies like Flash and Swedish companies and this thing. So we all work with foreign collaborations, different companies, different this thing. And 3 years back, when the government of India brought out the DSOX and DNOX emission standards and asked all other industries to comply with the new norms. When the NTPC started floating tenders for the DSOX systems and DNOX systems, it's unfortunate to see none of the Indian companies are qualified for that tender. Indian companies working with Indian technology. Yes, one of the companies with foreign collaborations have been successfully coming. And here I am not complaining about neither the NTPC nor the companies aspect. I just want to point out the state of the Indianization and what more we have to do and how much we have to do to really to observe the technology and the technology. Because it is very, very important to develop the technology in the industry. To cater to the local industries. Because working in the industry, I just tell you one example that in 2007, the displays which were manufactured in ethanol, they generate a lot of liquid effluents. And they were treating it as a liquid effluent. But the government of India came out with this thing that they cannot be disposed as a liquid effluent because of the ground pollution and the associated problems related to it. And since it is a mostly an agricultural waste, it got some collective value, which has to be implemented. So 2007, the first distilleries came in Tamil Nadu, and I was lucky to have one of the others to give a factory. Now, first time doing the factory, and the first time the distillery coming in India, information. The process parameters which were defined this thing. And once we have done the practical and commission, and by the time 2007 when I was doing the practical, I am already experienced 20 years in the practical field. And I was surprised to note that within 8 to 10 hours, we noticed that the practical is not going to work. The basic reason is the process parameters, the chemical nature of the gas coming out, and the chemical nature of the gases coming out of the intermediate are not properly understood, not properly good problem, but that is the problem. And when you are on that, luckily, the customer are not thrown out, because normally the tendency will be your battery is not working, is going to come out. But we were able to convince customer, and customer also came forward. And we jointly conducted to schedule the process parameters, because the boiler is running, we were able to collect the samples and see. The variations, what we have seen, the earlier defined one and the actual parameters, what we are looking at. The sulfur butane, we got it in 120 degrees centigrade, we actually 180 degrees. The bulk, just the bulk density, we got it is 0.65, but it is actually 0.15, just the carbon water. 26% non-substantive, and 30% potassium, which is highly hygroscopic. So, what all the different parameters which is there for the practical time, they are there in that process. So, we were made to go back to the drawing board and study the parameters carefully and revisit the practical, change the university of the practical, choose a different filter class which can expand its apparatus, biology, and able to successfully decommission the practical. Now, today around 46 such systems are in operation in India and abroad operated. So, this Indian technology is not just a design, it requires very hard work in actually working with the industry, particularly the new industry which is there. New processes are done there, like cement plants. I am doing practical for the cement plants for the last 5 years. Now, the process requirements are changed because previously mostly to the coal it was burning in the field And with the gas conservation and the gas conservation what we are getting it is annual and very. But with the new environmental awareness, one of the things is happening is the alternate fuels being used in the cement industry to reduce the coal consumption and also to utilize the waste generated in the pharma, municipal waste, whatever is vulnerable, because cement stone operates at 89%. So the most of the things can be implemented in the area. But once we started using alternate fuels, the entire gas composition started changing. Now, unless you have the first on-hand experience or on-hand study, but what are the different characteristics that the alternate fuels are showing, we are not able to design a proper system actually. So, the process of innovation, because what I am saying is, the basic science research, the academic institutes, and the research institutes, the industry, and the government. The four segments of different disciplines, unless they work with a similar goal, it is going to remain as more as a digital thinking and design rather than a practical. So, what I will say, all the four aspects is very important. Whenever we are trying to develop a system, a product, definitely it is going to be followed with some decisions. Because today, whatever the technologies developed in Europe or America, in any developed country, right from day one, they are not authorized. That's one. Secondly, in this commercial atmosphere, it is wishful thinking that those technologies will be available for us just by paying some money. Yes, they may sell the product or they may give a one-off solution. But the technology has to be understood by us and again developed from the scratch aspect. So, unless a combined effort is put from these three, four orders which are involved in this thing, the kind of evaluation is not possible. Because today we are coming up with, we are in a very exclusive situation where the handling of the waste generated in different segments, whether it is a municipal waste, whether it is a agricultural waste, whether it is a industrial waste. Unless we find the ways and means and technologies to handle this waste, we are going to get submerged. Because we are already talking about municipal waste almost out of 500 to 700 plants which are supposed to come by this time. I think we hardly have 100 or 80. And most of these plants, 90% are functioning with are supplied by the Chinese suppliers. Similarly, the agri-waste, the persistent, the daily pollution problem that we are seeing because of the burning of the agri-waste in the fields can be augmented only by finding the right way of disposal or de-evaluation of the. And recently, the government of India has come out with a sustainable alternative to affordable transportation. They want to manufacture around 15 million tons of steam and compressed biogas from these different resources, whether it is a municipal waste or agri waste or forest waste or industrial waste. Ways and means of producing the compressed biogas is coming out in big ways. And by 2023, as per government of India, we are supposed to install around 5,000 plants, nearly 3 trillion rupees. And today, in 2020, we have around 30 or 40 plants which are at various stages, few are commissioned and large. And they are also come out with an physical alternative method. What whatever complexity biogas is generated, the oil companies are prepared to market. It is with an assured market network. The government has come up with a plan to set up this plan. Now, once we are talking about biogas production system, the separation technologies involving handling of the high pressure biogas, the transportation facilities, the piping, and all these things. Unless we understand from the conceptual stage and master them, this kind of massive construction and massive listing is not already the existing industrial network what we have. So, with the 25-40 years industrial background, what are the academics and research institutes which are part and parcel of the main structure and industrial industry. We should develop a mechanism of active collaboration to develop this technology at a cost. Because the development of the product and the technology involves various stages. And there are one-to-one short costs, which have to be overcome with experience, mastery, and make it acceptable for. This is the cycle of research. So unless you have that kind of patience, not only money to the patience, because most of us and most of the industrial things we are making for very much service. They want guarantees. Whenever I go to this thing, they don't ask me what technology are using. They are only asking what guarantee can. Because that focus is 1 million gas volume and supposed to give the better guarantee of 110 million 10 MG emission level. And 3 to 5 years back, they are not interested in what technology I am using or what system. But it is a technology which is actually guaranteeing this parameter. So with this few words actually, I once again congratulate the organizers for the successful conference, and once again thank you for making me part of it and giving me a chance to listen to personal welfare, and thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry, there is practical as well as research knowledge, because he is a graduate from IIT Delhi. So, your overall review of the chemical engineering and its allied areas are very useful, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I request Sanjay Bharadwaj, Dr. Sanjay Bharadwaj, are you there to introduce Mr. Rajnath, Chairman, Avalon Consultants, who is gracing the occasion as guest of honor. Dr. Sanjay, please introduce.
Yes, sir. Good evening, seniors and delegates, esteemed ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Rajnath, who is Chairman of Avalon Consulting, Jump, Gate Solutions, Asia Knowledge Services, to all of you. Mr. Rajnath is a strategy consultant, entrepreneur, investor, and he's very interested in the future of various things. He is the Chairman of Avalon Consulting, Strategy Analytics, Business Transformation, which does a lot of work in the chemical sector, besides energy, e-mobility, consumer, and other sectors. Terminate Solutions, AI-based technology startup for customer care, reputation management, etc., and Asia Knowledge Services, global B2B, MR, and business services are the two companies that he chairs. He was also the founder and chairman of Urban Solutions, the marketing analytics company, which he sold to large MNC in 2019. It is ranked amongst the top 5 specialist analytics companies in the world by Forrester. His previous professional roles include merchant banking in Greenfield Bank and in consumer durable marketing. He graduated in engineering from IIT Bombay and he did masters in business management from IIM Ahmedabad. He was awarded the Distinguished Alumnus Award and Distinguished Service Award by IIT Bombay. publishes an annual paper around New Year about what to expect in the course of the year on various fronts, including the social political front, and their impact on global economics. This year's annual note in January was titled The Tipping Point, in anticipation of huge changes in 2020, largely as a consequence of an unexpected pandemic, even while WHO was still not clear whether it would be one. He is a speaker at several Indian and global events and at numerous webinars. In April and May, he spoke at a dozen webinars on the impact of various sectors and when they are likely to recover. He had correctly called out the global financial crisis of 2008-9 in much earlier in 2007 and predicted the oil price crash in 2008 when the price was $140 per barrel. Goldman Sachs had predicted $200. His company, Avon Consulting, is assisting the government of the PLI scheme for chemical sector. He is mentor of many startups involving technology and design. He is the vice chairman of PAN IIT Alumni India Association, the committee of IMC Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and its past president. He is on the board of trustees of the Economic Research and Training Foundation. He is on the committee of Bombay Stock Exchange Foundation, which incubates and funds startups. He has been on the jury of annual competition for startups held by the Maharashtra Innovation Society, Government of Maharashtra. I am pleased to invite now Mr. Raj Nayak, and can you especially, I requested Mr. Raj Nayak, and he was enthusiastic to share, so he's a visionary. That's what I have heard his talks on YouTube. I think we all will get benefit by his view, his perspective and vision. Thank you so much, Mr. Raj Nayak, for accepting the invite.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and Sanjay, thank you for that very kind introduction, very, very kind indeed. It's a privilege for me to address this distinguished audience as the guest of honor. I extend greetings for the new year to all the participants in this wonderful conference and bring to you a realistic hope, a realistic message of hope for the future, though 2020 was a forgettable year for a lot of us. Around this time, as Sanjay said, I write an annual paper, and last time I said, call it the tipping point, because I expect the world will tilt. And the world did tilt. As a result of which we saw so many lives lost, livelihoods lost, businesses hit, some damaged for good, some limping back, and a few actually thriving because of this massive tipping that happened. I want to use the next 10-12 minutes to explain how this tilt that the world has had is going to be advantages for innovative chemical engineering. My only you are on mute, Raj.
Yeah, yes, sir. Please proceed, sir. You are audible.
Mr. Raja, if you don't want it, then can you please unmute?
Please unmute yourself, sir.
Mr. Raja, sir, yeah, you are mute. Please, yeah. Now you can hear me. Can you? You can hear you. You can hear me. And you didn't hear anything so far. Right? Hello? Hello? You didn't hear nothing so far? Okay. So, all I want to say is that the world is still tipped, and on account of the fact that the world is tipped, there have been lots of changes that have happened, a lot of suffering, and a lot of good things are going to happen in the future too. There are many unsolved big problems, which I will explain, but they have been postponed or kicking the can further down the road. It is not possible to do that anymore, because there is a sense of urgency now in the minds of business leaders, in the minds of politicians, people at large. If it is seen to be urgent and big,
billions of dollars will be spent on it. That may not have happened 2 years ago. So the question to you is, how do we approach solutions to these big problems, big and urgent problems? More research, more capital investment, more brainstorming, more conferences like this? Probably not, because these are necessary conditions and not a sufficient condition. What then is the missing sufficient condition? Well, the missing sufficient condition is not lack of engineering knowledge. It's something that's available within each one of us, but we don't use it because we're not trained to use it. Therefore, big problems keep accumulating and growing each year. Take, for instance, vaccine development. There's a logical belief that a vaccine cannot be developed and deployed in humans in less than 4 years. Most vaccines actually took longer, and for 6 to 10 years is half of the course. Now, it's incredible that people could actually do it in less than 1 year in 2020. Something changed the mindset of researchers, of regulators, the mindset of volunteers for trials, and even vaccine manufacturers. Each of them changed their mindset, and that's why we have 6 candidates already approved, and there are 244 in line. Serum Institute in Pune, which started manufacturing millions of doses of Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine long before phase 2 and phase 3 trials were completed. The vaccine chain, chain, shifted from parallel processing to parallel processing from serial processing, when the given wisdom was that vaccines have to be made serially because there are many stage gates in the process, and every stage gate, many candidates get thrown out. So, but the world tilted so badly that everyone's mindset changed and said, hey, we have to try parallel processing because it's urgent. COVID-19 became the world's biggest problem, and soon enough the mindset changed. There was also a mindset change at the research level, as I mentioned earlier. The husband and wife team of German researchers of Turkish origin, Umur Sahin and Ozim Tureki, were professors at a medical college up until 2001, and they set up a research company to work on cancer therapy. Later they sold it and set up biotech in 2008. They kept looking for new types of solutions, not more of the same, or more efficient solutions compared to what is existing. They wanted a breakthrough. They thought, why not we rewrite the code of the RNA instead of tricking the immune system into thinking that is attacked by using dead viruses. 10 years later, they announced that they had a new technique called a messenger RNA, or mRNA. And when COVID struck, Pfizer quickly tied up with them, and the rest is history. By the way, they are now worth $2.5 billion. But that's just fantastic. Can you imagine what more this change of mindset from serial processing to parallel processing has set up? Many of you probably don't know that there is a project which started in August under the aegis of the Centers for Research in Emerging Infectious Diseases to get a vaccine for all kinds of epidemics in the future in 4 months. 4 months and not 6 to 10 years. They are creating a library of candidates, huge library of candidates, which have been pre-tested now. So if a pandemic strikes in 2022, they would search the library for a similar, find it within 3 weeks, and be sure that these 2-3 candidates look good, and get it to phase 3 trials in 3 weeks' time, and get the phase 3 trials completed in 3 months. In parallel, the manufacturing will start. The distribution supply chain from the manufacturer to the affected regions, likely affected regions, will also happen in parallel. So parallel processing is becoming a norm. And so in the future, we may not face a pandemic of this magnitude unless the virus strain is not one of the hundreds of similars that are now being tested. Okay. So we could deal with new viruses in 4 months flat and prevent global spread. So that's radical innovation which is possible because of the mindset change and global teamwork. So my message to you is that is a need to change your mindset if you want to succeed big time. There is a reason why not everybody can create an Amazon, a Facebook, a Microsoft, an Alibaba, a Tesla, etc. I think there are three ways to change the mindset to create a new world. The first is getting rid of the shortage mindset. Allow me to take you back to India in the 60s. On the one hand, there was a shortage of almost everything, be it rice, or milk, or wheat, or fruits, or whatever. And on the other hand, the shortage of industrial raw materials, consumables, finished goods, capital goods, logistics facilities, and investable funds. So the 70s and 80s were not much better, but what all this did is to create a permanent imprint, almost permanent imprint in our mind of shortage. Even though we had a liberalization, economic liberalization in 1991, that shortage mindset still rules our mind. It makes us set unreasonable constraints before we start a journey of problem solving. We as engineers, we are taught to think like that. There is a shortage of resources, of talent pool, of money, of time, and we call them boundary conditions. Or some people call it realism. It's this kind of shortage mindset which creates this so-called realism which prevents us from finding breakthrough solutions. It prevents us from seeing what could be done if these constraints did not exist. So this is a global problem. It's not just India, and it's much worse in India for reasons which I explained. And this shortage mindset can be overcome if consciously practice to challenge the shortage in the world. In the next 3 years, 22 cities in India are going to run dry. Agriculture, and that includes hydrocarbon, by the way. Agriculture is going to face challenges. It will be difficult to set up new process plants in India, even if only modest amount of water is required. There's going to be every scope to reduce water consumption in agriculture, 50 to 70% by using various techniques. There's scope to get close to net zero water consumption in many manufacturing plants if we put our minds to it. There's drinking water shortage problem, but for which there are many solutions being tried out. I don't want to get into that right now. Of course, we must take up these challenges as chemical engineers. But let's go beyond that and understand why we are in a shortage. We are only using 3% of the water on our planet and in our atmosphere. And therefore, we are constantly trying to divide that 3% amongst various potential users. And as the demand rises, we try and find more and more efficient ways to conserve that 3%. It's not increasing. What if we were to focus on the 97% water, which is not utilizable at the moment? We may not have to waste time dividing what we have. Instead, we may have a very green planet with deserts receding. So stop thinking of a shortage and figure out how to tap at least 10% of the 97%, and you'll create a new world. Professor Belfort, who spoke a little while ago, gave us some ideas on how membranes can be much more efficient, probably several times much efficient, and the cost of desalination might become very, very low. And then there's no problem of getting all the seawater. And if you get the seawater, you're going to get a lot of marine chemicals on the side. Okay, so it's all about the kind of research that Professor Belfort talked about, finding a breakthrough to get desalination to become very cheap. You might think it's not possible. We also thought this about our telephony in India. It was hugely constrained and expensive, but today the bandwidth has become plenty and almost free. It took someone with a different mindset to change it all. Left to BSNL and MTNL, you would be not attending this conference today online. Likewise, we have lived through centuries of shortage of energy. When there are so many chemical engineers around, why can't there not be a complete mindset change from energy shortage to energy surplus? I know it's easy for me to say that, but I'm just presenting a challenge in front of you. The sun casts 430 quintillion joules of energy per hour per year. That is 430 into 10 raised to 18. Do you know how much energy is used to manage the whole earth? just 0.01% of that. Imagine the amount of energy available. But we have spent all our money, a lot of our money on, we have spent the last 50 years a lot of our money on researching how to capture more and more fossil fuels and they're depleting at the higher levels, as we go down, if the sea goes sideways, and all kinds of things. This weakness of ours has been exploited by strategists in the open. Whenever they saw research dollars going into alternative energy research, they dropped the oil prices. Just doesn't enough. And lo and behold, funding for alternative energy stopped because renewables didn't seem economically exciting in the short term. So we'll get rid of the short term. So the second way is to change the paradigm. The vaccine is an example of how a paradigm has changed. We always think that there are good solutions within existing paradigms. We keep working within it. There are many more problems that can be solved. Get out of it. I will not talk about EVs replacing IC engines. That's a whole story. We know that pesticides are a huge problem. We are trying hard to reduce the problem by 30 to 60% by genetically making certain crops more pest resistant. Agricultural scientists know that when pesticides are sprayed, about 33% fall on the plant, the rest falls outside. But you know that actually 1% of all the pesticide that is sprayed actually gets absorbed by the plant. Much more than falling on the plant, only 1% gets absorbed in the plant. The remaining 99% pollutes the food chain, the rivers, the lakes, etc. And we have a big problem. The world is desperately looking to you for solutions. Now there's a certain Dr. Greg Larvey at Carnegie Mellon who has developed gold nanoparticle coating for crop chemicals and nutrients, whereby the crop chemical can now go straight through the stomata or the leaf into the blood. It slips through the two stomatal guardian cells, which prevent anything from entering the stomata. Now this, with the gold nanoparticles, can trick it to allow it to enter. Now, this has been established in the lab. Now, you chemical engineers can design and manufacture nanoparticle coating systems, application equipment, protocols, etc., and thus solve a huge human and environmental problem. Are you ready as engineers to collaborate with research labs at IIT Bombay, develop technology to kill cancer tumors by transporting gold nanoparticles into the tumor on microscopic scaffolds and then heating them up using a laser beam on the tumor? No chemo required, no radiation, and this is going to be just a treatment in the OPD of a hospital. 20 minutes, 2 settings. It's a huge impact. Now, are you prepared to develop and design and develop manufacturing devices which will actually help you deliver this? If you're ready, there's a great opportunity waiting because a lot of dollars will be spent. And the third approach could be to cross the domain of knowledge. If you look beyond your core domain, you can borrow and adapt knowledge from very diverse areas. We saw today the whole lecture by Dr. Belford was about biotechnology. He's a chemical engineer. Crossed over and picked up knowledge there, and he's now developing using chemical engineering to do amazing things. So there are lessons we learned from textiles, from biotechnology, from physics, from material science, from data science, from artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and from digital technologies. So if you look beyond yourself and your team for formal and informal partnerships, you can make stunning innovations. Unfortunately, there's time only for one example, and that's what I do before I step off. There's something in swimwear that can set you thinking. Hundreds of swimming records have been broken in the last 10 years by wearing Speedo's fast skin because it reduces the drag. Fast skin uses fabric whose surface has been modified at a microscopic level to resemble the skin of shark in Switzerland to get this technology to make fabric of that kind. Can you not borrow the idea to create nanoparticles on the surface of heat exchangers and make them super efficient? That means that either the plate does faster heat transfer, therefore the process is more efficient. On the sides of the heat exchange could be reduced, so less metal use, less ore mine, less energy, less pollution. What a breakthrough in the making. I will stop here because I have full faith in the creativeness of Indian chemical engineers who will think of 100 more ideas. If you change your mindset and dare to dream big from today onwards, I will feel that the purpose of my talk has been fulfilled, and India will have a lot to thank you for in 2021 and beyond. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Raj, for very enlightening talk. Your vision and then this is challenge now for all of us in chemical engineering community that we have innovations and digital direction society and all of us, industry, everyone. And thank you very much for spending time and sharing your vision with us.
Thank you, Mr. Rajnath.
Yeah, over to Abhijit.
Thanks to the
Next program.
I would like to invite Professor P. Day, who is the former past president of ICSC. And also, I think he is
now.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Very nice lecture.
Sir, you sir. So can you please unmute?
Yeah, please. Hello, is it audible now? Yeah, thank you, Mr. Rajnath and Dr. Sanjay Bhattacharya for inviting Mr. Rajnath and also to Mr. Rajnath who delivered excellent work. Thank you, sir. Hello, unmute. Yeah, am I audible? Yeah, am I audible now?
I was saying that
Thank you, Mr. Rajnath. Very a nice lecture. And I also thank Dr. Sanjay Bhattacharya for inviting Mr. Rajnath, introducing very great personality to the ICSC. I think we will have a continuous support from him in the coming years. Thank you, sir. Now I request Professor P. Day, past president of ICSC, and who has done tremendous service to the ICSC and also continuously advising the ICSC office bearers in all the aspects. And I request now Professor P. Day to address the gathering in this valedictory function. Sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes.
Good evening. You are putting a very sir. Anyway, thank you, Professor Bhattacharya. And we past president in the Osmania University Tata. And one on the screen for the semester, Professor Bhattacharya, his request, and Mr. Raj Nayar and Dr. Sairan, the guest of honor at the legislative function. And the president unit, he has worked for us. The present council members, past council members of the institute, and executive council member of Hyderabad Regional Center, then leadership